a.m. Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Monday, a beautiful Monday. Stiles and Watkins got you 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Man, oh man, what a weekend. You know, when we released a new segment last week, Case of the Mondays. We can skip that this week.
Yeah.
Nobody's got a Case of the Mondays.
There's no way.
Because the Niners won 34-3.
Big time.
The Kings, and I'll get into it, Chris, because I tried to will the Kings to this victory, and the text line was about that life. The YouTube chat was about that life, and we finally got you. We finally got you to come around just in time because the Kings showed up. Will they show up today? We will get into that as well. The Niners won. The Kings won on Friday, a Friday night beam. There's nothing like it. You had Kevin Huerter's return. You had Keegan Murray still struggling a little bit from three-point land. Started to figure it out later in the game and dunked. Okay, we got the audio for that crazy dunk. And whether it's better than Malik's, it's not better than Malik's, but it's still a great dunk. We got that as well. We have Emil Fergoso. He's showing up at 11 to talk Niners, our Sactown Sports Niners reporter, and even the Raiders. Even though they tried to mess around again, the Raiders won. Huh?
Yeah, it was boring. It was boring for me.
It wasn't a great game.
Wasn't great.
You know, you got the W cigar, the victory cigars. Yeah. We got that
2-0,
too. No, see, but this is what I'm talking about. You got the beam, you got the victory cigar. There's so much that happens.
And there's a game tonight.
And there's a game tonight. And the Kings got a game tonight. They're taking on the Cavs, who, I'm be honest with you, the Cavs, that is a team that I think a lot of people feel could be a nightmare. Because they're not only are they long, but they're long and quick. The Thunder,
a liar.
The Thunder, extremely long. Not very quick. Shai Gilgeous, this is why I was sitting next to Whitey at the game on Friday, and I told Whitey that Shai Gilgeous, Alexander, the way he plays is how D'Angelo Russell thinks he plays in his mind.
Yeah.
That's how he thinks his game is, but it's actually not. He is a generic version of Shai Gilgeous, and he's not even, and I think that might be being nice to D'Angelo Russell. But I was just thinking about that when I was watching the game. But the Thunder don't play with a ton of pace. Even though they're a young team, don't play with a ton of pace. And the Kings were able to get out because the Thunder, I mean, it was just a battle of the bricks, right? Both teams shot in the 20s from three-ball land. So because of that, the Kings were able to get out and transition and do some things that they like to do. But that's too much out of me, Chris. How are you doing on this fine Monday?
Pretty good. Yeah, I had an energy drink before today's show. So
are you good?
I'm feeling a little jittery. I usually don't have energy drinks. Yeah. I don't have coffee. I don't have energy drinks ever, period.
No coffee to an energy drink.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Last night I was excited for today. Yeah. I was like, we got so much stuff to talk about. I was working on the rundown until 1 a.m.
No, it was a full blown essay.
Yeah, I just had a lot of time on my hand, and I was like, let's get ready for today's show. So yeah, I came in today a little tired, but I'm very, very excited for tonight's game, and I'm excited to talk about the action because there was tons from the NFL to I mean, the NBA had tons of storylines, and a ton of teams have now played 10 games, so we kind of have a better feel for a lot of the teams across the NBA, except for the Kings. There's teams, I was checking today, there's teams that have played 11 basketball games, and the Kings still are sitting at 8. We just don't know so much about this team, and we know so much more about other. Just like think about the information we're going to have 3 games from now. There's so much more information on other teams. So I spent a lot of yesterday, frankly, catching up on some NBA numbers, and I mean, it feels like we're finally in the full swing of things. There was that nice period where we had baseball, football, and basketball kind of all at the same time. Now it feels like obviously baseball is done, but it feels like NBA and football are both in the swing of the season. Yeah. So good times right now for being a sports fan.
12 p.m. That's when we will fully preview the Cavs and what they have going. They just beat the Warriors, and the Warriors cannot beat that team because the Warriors lost to them in Cleveland. It was the first time the Warriors had lost in Cleveland since, I believe, 2016.
Really?
Yes. So the
Shout
Warriors.
out LeBron.
Shout out LeBron. shout out Cleveland.
Yeah,
This is
sounds
for you.
probably-
Was that the game when Steph threw the mouthpiece at the fan?
No. I'm pretty sure because I'm getting confused now.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
if
I
they
mean,
had
it must
games.
have been,
Yeah,
right?
Because that was the
after that, they never came
2016
back.
finals, and then they played 6 and 7 at Golden State.
I think it. No. You know what? That's not true because of the Kevin Durant ages. What it was regular season.
Gotcha.
And
That's
because the
right.
picture was
It was probably the Christmas game, right?
It was the Christmas game.
There was
yeah.
that random game in 2018 when the Warriors were up 3-0, and like they set the record for most threes in the finals. The
Right.
Cavs did. Like JR hit like 6 threes or something. In a
Right.
random
To
game.
not get swept. So there you go. We will preview the Cavs and, from Donovan. And by the way, friend of the show, Donovan Mitchell, a name that comes up very often. We get to see Donovan Mitchell up close and personal. I hope so much that I'm sitting next to you because what happens is in the media section, you get assigned seats. So last game on Friday, I was sitting next to Whitey. Chris was up top with Brendan and the crew. So I'm really hoping, and I kept looking back whenever anything happened.
So
and I want to sit next to Whitey as well.
good.
I want to get sandwiched between Whitey and Chris so I can watch Chris. I don't want Donovan Mitchell to go off. But either way, if he goes off, I will get reactions from Chris.
Well, he's going to shoot the ball. I can tell you
He's
that.
going to shoot. Well, there you go. And here you start again.
It starts.
And if he does go off, I will get a reaction from Chris. So I am very excited. Please, if you haven't made it, if you're listening, Kings front office, Kings ticket media, please. If you haven't made the seating chart yet, and you are listening to Sactown Sports, Stiles Watkins, please put me next to Chris. Please.
I don't know. I kind of like the you being across the room thing. It adds a little bit of humor. Just
Right,
like
'cause you're looking at me.
I like look over to you, and then you're like, it's the perfect timing of you
Right.
looking over and doing something.
And then halftime ends, and I'm behind you.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, what's up?
Yeah.
What's up now? All right. One thing, and it's tough on Friday games because we need to look forward to Monday now.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about how that team came out on Friday. By far, can we all agree? Best win
game
of the season.
Yeah, best game.
Best win
game
of the
the
season.
best performance of the season.
Yeah.
Best win of the season. However you want to put it. To perform that way without De'Aaron, when OKC was playing really well heading into that game, I think definitely, especially with all the noise on the outside of, what were they going to look like? I mean, I don't think that there's been as few people who felt like the Kings were going to win a game this season heading into that game as there was.
It was bad, man.
It was
bad.
It was, let's just make it competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I was talking, do we need to prepare for moral victory talk on Monday? It was pretty hopeless for the most part, and for them to just kind of rise up and have that performance, mainly defensively. You mentioned earlier the shots weren't falling for either team. The fact that they were able to pull out that game, I think Mike Brown said it after in his post-game press conference, but that's just not a win. Like, that's not a game that the Kings would have won last year. They would have wanted to rely so much on their shooting, and when the shooting wasn't falling, that was it. They were like, well, we can't defend.
Yeah.
So I guess the other team's just going to outscore us from the perimeter and win. Kings showed great effort defensively. And again, I like the ability to show different ways of winning, to kind of parallel it to football. We talk a lot about teams like the Dolphins, who it seems like they can only win if it's 40-15 or something like that.
70 and sunny.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got to be perfect conditions. I like the fact that the Kings are, so far this year, they found a couple different ways of winning ball games. It shouldn't just be, okay, our formula is score 125 and the other team just can't keep up with our offense. That's a good one way to win, but you also need to be able to, play good defense or attack the rim if you need to, or just win in different ways. And I think it's a positive step that the Kings are starting to kind of figure out how to win some ugly basketball games, because frankly, the shots are going to fall eventually, but they need to, like in the playoffs last year, when the shots don't fall, they need to have other paths to getting a win.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. And a microcosm of that, I think, and we'll get into him more in depth here later in the show, Keegan Murray, because Keegan Murray specifically wasn't looking good early. Yeah. The shot, I mean, didn't he airball a shot?
He did, yeah.
And I think that might have been in the second half.
Yes, it looked really bad.
And he's
he's kind of a perfect microcosm, honestly, for what we're talking about. Like, shots not falling, but still finding ways to get to get results. I think that's a bigger, or he's a specific example of what the Kings did in total.
Right. And somebody like that, if you can power through the struggles that you've had, by the time your shot does come back, now you're a completely different ball player because you've worked on offensive rebounds. You've worked on yamming on Chet Holmgren. You've worked on all these things that can make you feel like, hey, even though the shot isn't there, I'm still progressing as a basketball player, which is, I think, exactly what Mike Brown wants. Got to get to a break. When we get back, all right, man, we really spent this time talking about Brock Purdy, right? We could probably count on two hands the bad throws from Brock Purdy. And y'all are ready to send him out of town. Not me. But y'all already sent him out of town.
Hey, man, we saw Sam Darnold yesterday.
We did.
Technically.
There was one specific throw that I am naming a certain nickname. I'm not going to say it now. When we get back, I'll talk about it. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Imagine it's the final game of the season, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are making a comeback. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. And I was never against Brock, but now I might be a Brock believer. Some of those throws, I just got to say. But before we break that down, Stiles and Watkins, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Feeling real good here on a Monday. How was your weekend, Chris? I feel like we need to do more of this. I want to chat with you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we talk a lot, but a lot of it is, hey, let's do this on the show. Let's do that on the show.
Yeah.
So how did you spend your weekend?
How did I spend my weekend? See, now's the part where I have to remember what I did this weekend. I had some friends from out of town who were in town, stayed the night on Friday. Okay. So, got home from the game, hung out with them a little. They stayed the night, got breakfast the next morning, and then just kind of laid out on Saturday and didn't do much of anything, was exhausted. I think we had nice little Thanksgiving dinner with my family because we're not going to be out of town for Thanksgiving. So
you did it early.
Yeah. So got that out the way. I shouldn't say got that out of the way like it was some, burden hanging over me, but took care of that. And then Sunday was just all football all day. And really can't argue. My Vikings had a great game. Josh Dobbs, the Dobbasance is continuing, whatever you want to call him, the Pastronaut or whatever. Had a fantastic performance. Niners had a nice little blowout of a game. Yeah. So it was a great weekend. What'd yours look like? You unpacking those boxes?
We're basically done. So that's done.
Because I feel like people stare at boxes for like a solid week after the initial move.
We couldn't. We're trying to get the childcare situation so people are in and out. Yeah. So we had to, we had to get that taken care of. I will say this because we're having some issues mounting our TV, right?
Sure.
Saying you got to use the studs
just
in the wall.
Pay people, man.
No, but that's what happened.
Get the $100 out.
So
the way.
they said, hey, we'll have somebody come from the complex and get it done. Okay, cool. They came and they said, hey, we can only use the studs, so you need to find a different mount. I started looking at mounts, $300 for a mount.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Not even for the service itself.
No, not the service itself. So I will say this because I am a Yelper. I have my gripes. I'm very open about it. But I will say this. Out of all the things I complain about, I know people have just gone to online and call me old-fashioned, but Best Buy always takes care of me. And Best Buy always, because that's where we got the TV from. So we're trying to figure out, okay, how we can get this done. Best Buy said, well, send somebody out. You don't have to use the studs. Yeah, we'll get it taken care of for you. So I'm just saying, because I always have a lot of negative things to say about customer service. So I feel like if you're going to be negative about things, you should also be positive. So shout out Geek Squad. And it's not up yet, but hopefully we get it taken care of. They're coming out today. Yes, they're coming out today.
Was the baby room the first thing you set up? It had to be, right? I was like,
that's the crib, get it all going. She had some apple. She didn't like the sweet potatoes.
Right.
First day was not bad. Second day was very bad. Didn't like the sweet potatoes. The apple, she didn't mind.
Okay. Was it applesauce or was it apples?
Yeah, it was like an applesauce type thing. It's a texture thing that I think she is working through. And lastly, our own Joe Jaros, I started this Alan Asks Q&A series on Twitter, and it's just literally me just asking a question. And this one
we've been through that before.
Well, these are
Alan just asking questions.
This is me ingratiating myself in this as a Sacramentan, wanting to know about places in Sacramento.
For sure, yeah.
So I asked best place to get barbecue from, and I got a couple nice replies, so thank you for everybody replying. I ended up going with our own Joe Jaros, friend of the show on YouTube and friend of the show in the building as well, and he said Urban Roots. So I went to Urban Roots. Sure. It was fuego.
Yeah, Urban Roots is smacking.
It was fire. Sure. It was fire. You know, I'm not Keith Lee here, but, you know, I got to say that mac and cheese was absurd.
It's bomb.
It was crazy. Absurd.
Yeah. There's really nothing bad at Urban Roots. I've been there a good handful of times.
I will be back.
I usually try and diversify what I get, and every time it's been smacking.
Yes.
So big shout out Urban Roots.
Shout out Urban Roots, because I got my spots now. I got my spot from the Bay, and I'm thinking I need to get this barbecue going, and did not disappoint.
No,
so
not at all.
That was my weekend. That was nice.
That's great. Yeah,
that was nice.
Love to see Sactown Styles getting out and enjoying the community, getting to know the community,
yes.
and there's definitely. I mean, Sacramento prides itself on its food scene, so I definitely think you're going to have a great time exploring.
Yeah, people keep hitting me up like,
man.
"Hey, we know you're a foodie. Yeah. Sacramento has got you covered."
Man. I'm telling you, from pizza to you can get Ethiopian food, man. There's things everywhere and all in between. So I'm excited. I know you classify yourself as a foodie.
That's right.
I think Sacramento's going to do you right.
Good. Love to hear it. So there you go. As we get into the Niners, and they had a really good weekend, smacking the Jaguars,
just smacking
34-3.
I thought that was supposed to be the hottest team in football.
It was supposed to be the hottest team.
Oh my goodness.
Kyle Brandt, we can get that sound later because we keep receipts on Good Morning Football. Said, I don't understand how the Jaguars are underdogs at home. Well, brother,
that's why.
You couldn't even get in the end zone.
No.
You couldn't even get in the end zone. It didn't even look competitive.
No.
Trevor Lawrence, I mean, goodness gracious. And I get it. Chase Young, it literally was. This is what we're talking about. Race to the quarterback.
Yep.
That's what I saw. Yep. I saw literally two guys who said, I bet you I can get there first. And Trevor Lawrence had to deal with that and didn't even feel like Chase Young played that many snaps.
No. It didn't feel like they were really even full steam ahead. And, we had heard heading into this game that the Jaguars offensive line was shaky at best. I believe they traded for Ezra Cleveland from the Vikings at the trade deadline. So they even knew that was a thing that needed to be addressed. But man, I mean, you really couldn't have asked for a better opening performance from those guys. Like it was everybody. It was a sack party. Yeah, you Bosa got back there. Hargrave got back there. I think Hargrave got 1.5 sacks.
Yeah,
Armstead was back there. Like it was like that's what I imagine Steve Wilkes and all Niner Nation was thinking about when they imagined what this defensive line would look like. And of course, it took a couple trades and a couple weeks to get there, but I think we're finally seeing what this 49ers team, this defense specifically, is capable of with everything. And I think the biggest, note from this weekend to take is they were healthy and they looked like the team that we saw the first 5 weeks when they were completely healthy.
So Chris and I, if you've been listening, thank you for listening. If you're just now listening, Chris and I went golfing about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring this up is because we like to talk about a well-executed mulligan, right? If you shank a shot and you say, hey, I'm going to use my mulligan here, breakfast ball, whatever, it's very important that next shot is nice. And I had one ball where I used my breakfast ball and I executed it perfectly. Still shanked the next shot, so I still double bogeyed or whatever. But this is exactly what the Niners did, right? These 3 games was essentially their mulligan. Yep. And then they had their bye week, also their mulligan. So it is very important to come out and take advantage of everything you had going. And that's exactly what the Niners did. Yep. They came out firing on all cylinders. And I think you make a great point, because there's something about challenging guys. And we talk about this a lot with the Kings. Mike Brown challenging Malik Monk. Mike Brown challenging Keegan Murray. And all this talk, not only all this talk about Steve Wilkes not being in the booth, or being in the booth, not being on the field. Now he was on the field. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Was it overblown or not? But all this talk, and you got to bring in Chase Young. And if I'm one of these guys on the D line that's supposed to be one of these bad boys getting to the quarterback, that's John Lynch saying you're not good enough. Yeah, you're not playing good enough. Mm-hmm. So if you're Hargrave, hey, I want to show that I can do that. If you're another guy on this line, so not only did bringing in Chase Young just make your team better by putting him on the team, it also made your team better if you think you got some dogs on him. Don't forget. Our dog segment 130, by the way, for the Kings, segment 130. If you think you got some dogs on your team, you're going to challenge them and say, look, man, I'm bringing in somebody else because you're not getting it done. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to bring in somebody that thinks you can't. And you know what? If you are a dog and if you are somebody that likes to compete, you say, I'm happy we're bringing in Chase, but this is kind of a slap in the face a little bit saying that we're not good enough. For sure. I think you're completely spot on for them to say, all right, well, we're going to bring in Chase and we're going to be better, but I'm still going to elevate my game because that snap's being taken away from me. Yeah. And that's what we saw last night or yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody took advantage of the opportunity. I mean, from, Ambry Thomas even took advantage of the opportunity and had a nice little play. They
were
strip
on
and
the
everything.
Broadcast too.
Oh my goodness. It was incredible. The performance that they put, it was a real team performance. And that's Niner football. Like that's been what the 49ers recipe has been these past couple of years. It's not just, the ability to put 30 plus points on you. They tried to put 40 plus, but the ability also to completely shut down the other team when they have that kind of an edge to them. I mean, they're one of the best teams in football, and I think we saw that the Niners, I mean, it's definitely not surprising, but the Niners are officially back when it comes to the national people also talking about this team. Yeah. They definitely started to write them off, and, we're already talking about everybody else, but I think after this weekend, I think the Niners definitely put themselves right back firmly in that conversation of, top 3 contenders.
The question becomes, and we'll get into this a little bit later, we still got to talk Brock Purdy. The question becomes, what do you prefer? If you are an objective fan, right? Because obviously if you're a Niner fan, you're going to say, well, I'm going to go with the Niners. Here's my thing with the comparison between the Niners and the Eagles, right? I feel like we've seen the best from the Niners. And I think that the best from the Niners might be better than the Eagles, right? That's what I think as far as the ceiling. Sure. As far as the Eagles are concerned, we have not seen their best, but they've still won. Yeah. Right? So it's almost as if the Eagles' basement isn't as low as the Niners. Yes. But I feel like the Niners' ceiling might be higher than the Eagles. Absolutely. So it's really a matter of what you prefer, because how long are we? We're on what week are we? Week 10?
Week 10. We just wrapped up.
How long? And the Eagles had a bye here. How long are the Eagles? And I know you want to be playing your best football later in the season, but Jalen Hurts is injured, still trying to come back from the knee. At what point do you say, okay, we probably should see your ceiling now, right? For sure. Do we really expect the Eagles to hit their apex right when the playoffs start? I don't
As
believe
the wear
that.
and tear on your body has never been more. I don't
believe that.
And then you got to get through a couple playoff rounds as well. I mean, if the Eagles, it truly feels like this year, that number 1 seed in the first round bye has never been more important, because it's tough to think about the Eagles who just play such a physical style of football, them remaining healthy through 3 more playoff games to get to the Super Bowl, and the Niners as well. They've had their injury woes already throughout this season. I think that the race for the first round bye is going to be incredibly important in the NFC, and it seems like it's a 3-team race between 3 teams who realistically all have great shots at doing it, between the Eagles, the Lions, and the Niners. I definitely think that it's going to be paramount to get that spot, because you just don't know. I think those 3 teams are so tightly contested. Just stylistically, they're also pretty different. I think I think it's going to be huge down the stretch. And I don't really think that the Eagles have that. I think this is just kind of going to be the Eagles team we see the rest of this year, is just a really physical football team that wins dirty. I don't know if they have that blowing out of a top tier team in them this year.
No, and got to get to a break. Everybody is saying that, the Niners are cooked in terms of the first round bye. It's going to be the Eagles. Let me read you who the Eagles have
Eagles
coming
schedule.
up.
I'm telling you.
The Eagles, next, they got the Chiefs in Kansas City. That's a Monday nighter. After that, they host the Bills.
Well, it can't get harder than that, right?
It can't, right. Then you have the Bills, who depends on which Josh Allen shows up. That could be a close game. It's going to be a close game either way. Then they have the Niners that come to town with bad intentions based on that playoff game.
It's over after that, right?
After that, you got to go to Dallas, to Jerry World, and face the Cowboys, who are, they're still the Cowboys, but they're always going to give you a tough go.
Yeah.
Then after that, you got to go up to the 12th man and face Don't Write Me Off. I didn't write back Geno Smith, who they're another team who they win games, but never looks pretty.
Well, at home, too, they're going to be a lot tougher.
Exactly.
To beat, too.
After that, you got
screaming enough.
You got the Giants after that, and then the Cardinals and the Eagles. But that 5-game stretch, you have that. Meanwhile, next week, the Niners, with 2 guys from Ohio State, they get to face who? Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And who can't they stand? Baker Mayfield. So I'm just saying, it's not over yet. Got to get to a break. When we get back, I'll tell you why I'm a Brock star now and why I got to party like one. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Players know it's not just because you win more, it's because of everything else at Gold Country Casino Resort, where players roll in and winners are made. Winning isn't the only thing on the menu, and nightlife, it's more than entertaining. Drinks and dining options are abundant and guaranteed to satisfy your innermost desires. Come be our guest and see why Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is where the players play.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
Honey, come here, quick.
What is it?
Shh, check it out. All these highly rated wines are under $20. Total Wine must have made a mistake.
Nope, they always have the lowest prices. Oh, remember that amazing rosé your sister brought over last week? See, it's right here.
Whoa, that's a low price. I mean, whoa, that's a low price.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. Stockton Honda
Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Second down 1, a play caller delight here. Kittle goes in motion right. Outside of McKivitz, Ayuk is on that side. Purdy under center, a 5-step drop. Now going to pump and throw down the sideline. Kittle! He's got it and he's gone! Touchdown! San Francisco!
Keep feeding the beast on a wheel route in George Kittle's wheels. There is nothing wrong with him. Matched up on Devin Lloyd, pure one-on-one.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. I mean, that's it for me. That's it for me. You know, I was never a Brock hater, right? But we had conversations about Brock's limitations and would he be able to do this and that. The three not great games, right, in the picks, really didn't move me because I didn't really know how I felt about Brock in terms of that elite guy. When I watched that throw, the first thing I think in my mind is, you know, the whole rookie of the year. I got the UCL. How is my arm strength? He was facing pressure. I really don't even know how he got it off, right? It was a smidge underthrown, but not like George Kittle had to actually come back. He kind of came to the side a little bit.
It was very Eli Manning-esque. It reminded me of like that Eli Manning to David Tyree throw, where it's kind of like the pocket's collapsing completely. He can't step into it. He just kind of throws over the line
enough
and
mustard
throws it
on it.
deep.
Enough mustard on it, and George Kittle literally walked into the end zone. Brock Purdy, 19 for 26, 296 yards, 3 tutties against a guy that in the football world, a lot of people compare it. Trevor Lawrence, number 1 round, first overall pick out of Clemson, right? So Brock Purdy showed up. I understand that. Is he quote unquote limited in areas? Yes. But if any other, my thing is this, if any other quarterback, specifically a Mahomes or a Josh Allen, any of these guys make that throw, everybody is saying specifically that is a throw that Brock Purdy can't make. Right. And he just made it. Yeah. And he just made it. And then in the afternoon slate, as we have Michael Irvin, who about a month ago said he would take Brock Purdy over Justin Herbert. I don't necessarily know. But I will say this. Justin Herbert misses a lot of passes per game. Sure. He misses throws, at least 2 to 3 open throws. If Brock misses a throw, normally that person isn't wide open. Sure. It's very rare for Brock to just completely miss. I'm not saying he's the next Joe Montana. I'm not even saying he's the next Steve Young. But all I'm saying is any conversation that was being had about Brock Purdy these last 3 games, Brock Purdy can win a Super Bowl with this Niners team. Yes. Now, can he win this Super Bowl with a different roster? I don't know. But luckily for Brock, we don't have to find out. Yeah. We don't have to find out. Yeah. I'm all in, man. I'm all in. I'm a Brock star.
Yeah, I think that I think if the question is, can this 49ers team win with Brock Purdy as their quarterback? I've always thought that question was a little ridiculous, but I think that answer is absolutely yes. Like, if he's playing well, he's not holding this team back at all. And I have a problem with people saying that, you could throw anyone in there because, frankly, I mean, you can't have the Niners personnel without having Brock Purdy on his contract. So that you can't really have you can't have both. And I think Brock is he's going to be good enough. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, yes, is his ceiling as high as some of those other guys? Like, can Brock Purdy have a game that Trevor Lawrence is maybe capable of having on a given night? No, he's not. He is limited in that sense, but the average Brock game or where he lives from, good average to, okay, just a decent game. It's so steady and just consistent. I think that he's more than capable of leading this team as far as they need to be. And I think as long as he's not turning the ball over, like we've seen in the last 3 weeks, that's really the key to me. It's not even really about all the plays he can make. It's about the plays he won't be making. And I think as long as he's keeping the ball in the Niners' possession, I think he's doing fine.
I have a question for you because and it is so difficult to talk about this because there are so many other factors, right? If we're going to sit here, not us, but the collective we, and sit here and say that football is the ultimate team game. We hear that all the time, right? If football is the ultimate team game, then even though I just did it, I don't know that I should say that Brock just beat Trevor Lawrence head-to-head straight up.
Right.
Because I feel like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like somebody like you, and this is what I saw on social media yesterday, said who won between Trevor Lawrence and Brock Purdy. Obviously, Brock won the game. And somebody said the quarterback that didn't have to go up against the Niners defense.
No, I mean, the Jaguars have a great defense as well.
That's what I thought.
Jaguars are number 3 defense in DVOA right now. I mean, they're one of the best.
They're not slouches at the very
No, definitely not.
worst.
Yeah, they're a top defensive unit in the NFL, no matter how you look at it. And I think Brock did good enough. I don't personally love to say this. I mean, I think in the sense of if you ask who won the day, Brock definitely had a much better day than Trevor Lawrence, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can definitively say Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. Sure, definitely not. But yeah, I mean, I think, I don't even know what the I'm not a big fan in quarterback versus quarterback.
No.
I think each situation is independent in itself, and I don't know. I'm not personally a big fan in saying quarterback versus quarterback.
Well, what it is, again, we talked about what would you prefer, knowing if you were a Niner fan or Eagle fan, knowing, this is what my team ceiling is, or, hey, I don't know what my team ceiling is, but I know we can win ugly. The other part of this is the conversation between the Justin Herbert and a Brock Purdy is, would you rather have somebody that can make up for the missed throws, right, because of their arm talent, or just has somebody that doesn't really miss throws? And that is why people had so many question marks when Brock throws an interception. It is tougher because you're thinking, hey, how are you going to be able to overcome this because you don't have the super laser to show? I mean, to be fair, right, and I am a Brock star. I don't even know if I would put Trevor Lawrence here, but Justin Herbert, just specifically because I was watching that afternoon game, just going back and forth between them and the Cowboys, and I didn't have to watch very much of the Cowboys game with the Giants. It looks effortless, right? I mean, it looks effortless, and it comes out on a laser. Sure, I will give Justin Herbert that. But besides that, like we said, you're throwing lasers, missing guys. I know Brandon Staley's probably going to get canned. I'm surprised he might even get canned this week at this point. But
just wait until they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, then they'll move on from him. And I get why everybody can still say, hey, Justin Herbert in the offense would do this, this, and this. But from what I've seen, Justin Herbert is missing wide open receivers that Brock doesn't miss.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Do you think Brock Purdy could have played in that Lions Chargers game? Like if the Niners were in the place of the Chargers, do you think he could have gone tick for tack with the score? Because that's my thing is we still saw
Niners roster or just put Brock on the Chargers?
No, we can put the Niners roster on there. That's fine. I'm just saying if the Niners are in place of
I do.
We're talking about how the Kings have shown different ways of winning basketball games. That's the question with Brock Purdy we still haven't gotten answered is, can he win in a shootout? Because that game required Justin Herbert to constantly be on the heels of the Lions and put the pressure on the Lions offense to keep scoring. Brock Purdy, we just saw Brock Purdy win 34-3 and not have any adversity at all. They won wire to wire.
It's what we've seen.
The last 3 weeks, though, the problem has been the Niners don't have the lead and Brock isn't playing from behind, so he's not having to actively make plays to win the game. I think, it's the Niners just have a little bit of front runner energy. And I think, again, if I'm going to keep that energy that I have with the Kings, where it's good to see them and I need to see them win in different ways, I still need to see the 49ers, because come playoff time, those games get a lot tighter. I need to see what happens when it's, okay, what happens when you're down 10-0, and can you win if you're down 14-28?
Rams game.
Yeah, but like in a true shoot, like Justin Herbert, I just saw him when his team needed him to continue to score just to make the game close. He continued to put pressure on that Lions team. If the Niners are down 2 scores, what happens? I think that's still the answer that I need answered from Brock to see, can he win the Super Bowl with the Niners? Because at some point, you're going to be down 10-0, like Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl against the Niners. You're going to be down 10 points in the fourth quarter. Can you come back and win? We haven't. It's not a matter of if he can or I definitely don't think he can, or I know he can.
Just haven't seen it.
It's just we don't have that information yet, especially, and even if we see it once, okay, he's got the capability of doing it, but can you do it again? That again is what makes you different than just, Baker Mayfield can have a comeback, come from behind victory, but can you do it multiple times in high pressure situations?
What we do have the information though is that Kyle Shanahan cannot. That's the other part.
Well,
Sure,
yes,
right,
we did
exactly,
read off those numbers, but
he also can't hold the lead.
Right, but again, second-year quarterback, that's why it was so important for this defense to figure it out.
Right, exactly.
So
because the defense has been just as key to the success.
Right.
I would argue more important to the success of this team.
Right, and the conversation is if hopefully you just don't get down 2 scores. That's why we're paying you guys all this money. That's why we brought in Chase Young. If we do get down 2 scores, though, or even dare I say more, right?
Yeah.
13-0,
Happen,
something like that. Sure, we haven't necessarily seen that. I also don't know if that'll happen. We don't know. We just don't know what we don't know. But in these spots, when everything is rolling, I get it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Christian McCaffrey as well.
Yep.
Brock Purdy can win you a Super Bowl. And on days like this, you do make a good point. But on days like this, when you see him do these things.
Yeah, it's not the time to have that conversation.
No. But I just don't know when it's going to happen, right? I mean, looking back on these other games, that Browns game, let us not forget the Jake Moody, which was Jake Booty that game, and he missed that field goal. He let him down to win.
Right, yeah, you put him in situations.
That's
Vikings
2
game
losses.
even. He was playing well and then arguably got a concussion and then things changed.
So, they had that Browns game.
Yeah.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, we are swinging back over to the Kings to talk about what we've seen from them and can we expect this to be the norm. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
It's the first ever Elk Grove Kia Frozen Turkey Bowling Extravaganza on November 18th, 2023 from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. That's right, a frozen turkey becomes the bowling ball, and 10 liquid-filled plastic beverage bottles are your pins. It's not just bowling, it's an adventure. Knock down those pins. Each pin has a number attached to it, which means your skills can lead you to awesome prizes. And guess what? Each person gets 2 rolls, so you can aim for perfection. Now, how can you be part of this amazing event? Simple. Register at Elk Grove Kia for one of the 8 coveted spots through a raffle. But hurry, the registration deadline is November 17th, 2023 at 6 p.m. sharp. And here's the best part. No purchase is necessary. That's right. It's all about the fun and games. So make your way to Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall today for a chance to win a spot at the inaugural Elk Grove Kia Turkey Bowl. Rules and regulations at elkgrovekia.com.
Elk Grove Kia.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than 1 championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting.
at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet Store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind. And that's okay, because at Sac Sewer, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And it's our job to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. Whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night, at 916-875-6730. Sac Sewer. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports on a beautiful Monday morning, taking you up to 2 p.m. Thank you to Kyle getting it done for us behind the glass today. Shout out, Kyle. Good stuff. We have Emil Fergoso, Sactown Sports Niners reporter at 11. I believe I saw Emil running around, so he should be in the booth.
Might be at 11:30. He has a meeting for his real job, so it might be at 11:30.
Okay, fair enough. Well, we will keep you up on that, and when Emil gets in, we will talk more Niners. But for now, we're going to swing over to the Kings. Don't forget, 1:15, the DOG segment, our dog of the game segment. We still have to refresh our dogs. I got to remember who my dog was. I went Keegan.
I think I went Domas.
Yeah, well, both of ours.
Looking nice. Looking nice.
Checked out.
Come
so
on.
1:15, get your dogs of the game. And you got to switch it up, right? So I went Davion last time. I went Keegan this time. So I got to pick somebody new. Chris has to pick somebody new. And if you on the YouTube text line, call line, hop in, you got to pick somebody new, whoever you've been picking. By the way, we're going to open up the phone lines, 916-339-1140, as we begin to talk Kings. How you feeling, Chris? Friday went well.
Yeah.
You still need to see more.
You know, it's I'm starting to kind of slowly get off that ledge a little, and it's feeling like you could talk yourself into some things. The Kings have only really lost to 2 opponents, and without De'Aaron Fox in 5 of their 8 games, they're still 4-4. So taking a step back, it's maybe not as dire as what it felt like as we were going through it, but still have a couple things that I think I need to see before I'm completely convinced that this team is going to be okay while De'Aaron Fox is out for hopefully not too much longer.
Yeah, and one of those things would probably be Keegan. Another thing will be Harrison Barnes, and we have 11:45. Don't want to miss this. We have an A versus B conversation, a comparison. I'm not going to spoil it. I kind of already did. Harrison Barnes will be featured in that some way, somehow. I'm not going to tell you how. That is how you save ATs right there. And yeah, I think tonight is a huge night for the Kings.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you have a Cavs team that just beat the Warriors, that are rolling on all cylinders. I mean, Darius Garland. I know you say what you say about Donovan Mitchell, but he is a guy who, even with all those shots Donovan Mitchell takes, still finds a way to get his.
For sure.
Evan Mobley. They are a well-constructed team, and really a team that I think is a version of a more modern team, but with kind of flashes of old school. They're more traditional than the Thunder, for sure.
Right, for sure. I mean, they've got their 2 big system. They run Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, who are 2 massive centers that are going to make life really difficult at the rim. And, the Kings have already kind of struggled with getting to the rim in general. So that's definitely going to be interesting. It makes me feel like tonight the Kings are probably going to have to rely a lot on their jump shooters to hit perimeter jumpers, because when you have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen at the rim, those guys are going to make it just hell on your guards, especially. And I don't really fear too much for Sabonis. I think Sabonis's physicality will prove itself to be too much for those 2 guys, but I think just the guards getting to the rim is going to be the big issue with tonight's game. And so it's going to be big on Keegan. It's going to be big on Kevin, and also Malik, who really hasn't hit many shots from the perimeter to kind of get it going and open everything up and maybe make that more traditional 2 big thing for Cleveland a little bit tougher to play, even though Evan Mobley he's just a monster defensively. So there's in general, length and size tend to bother the Kings a lot. We've talked about that a couple times so far this year. But it'll definitely be an interesting game, even with De'Aaron Fox still out, just them trying to figure out how to figure out that puzzle. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Kings did beat the Cavs last year on the road without De'Aaron. So they have a blueprint for it. They just kind of need to figure it out on the fly as well, I think.
Yeah, and the things that we feel are repeatable for the Kings would be that defensive effort.
For sure.
And you can't teach height, and we know that that's a big team over there. The two guys that you talk about in Mobley and Allen, great last name, by the way.
Yeah.
The problem for me is, at what point do we worry about the outside shooting, right?
Yeah,
because I'm not worried about it, because if you watch the game, the Kings do so many open looks. We've seen them, even though it's been a short season, we've seen them against multiple teams that pride themselves on defense.
Yeah.
The Thunder do, the Warriors do, right? I think even the Lakers would say that they pride themselves on defense. They love saying that AD is the best two-way guy, whatever, right? And through all of that, the Kings are still generating the most open looks. So you feel good about that, and you got to think, okay, at some point they'll start to fall.
For sure.
We just don't know if they're going to fall at the same clip as they did last year.
Yeah.
That's ultimately the thing. So are you worried about that, or do you think they can power through? Because to your point, as much as I like Malik in the two-man game, facing a long inside team like the Cavs, I don't know if you're going to be able to bread and butter that as much as you did against some of these other teams that they faced. That's what I'm worried about. If the pick and roll isn't rolling tonight,
right?
You got to get those shots falling, because basically, like you said, the lane is closed for business. You got to go over to a different lane.
Yeah.
Because that lane in the paint is
tough.
closed.
It's going to be really, really tough.
Road work.
Road
work.
Frankly, I mean, I hate to give him credit, but Donovan Mitchell and more so Donovan Mitchell. I was going to throw Darius Garland in there as well, but he's not really the best defensively. He's done a good job of keeping guys on the perimeter. He is a little bit of a risk taker. He's one of those, you got the Allen Iverson shirt on today. It's actually perfect. He really does take a lot of risks defensively with steals, but when you have those two big guys behind you, you're allowed to take those kind of risks, because, you can go for the steal, and if you get blown by, those two guys are going to be behind you to protect you. But Donovan Mitchell has done a really good job this season of just kind of being a little bit more physical on the perimeter. I've noticed defensively, more so without Darius Garland the first couple games. He really did try and do more defensively. So it's going to be interesting what stylistically Cleveland tries to do tonight. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're one of the lowest scoring teams in the NBA. So they're not really a team that's going to try and play a high pace game. They're 24th right now in points per game. So that kind of lends itself to help the Kings, especially without De'Aaron. They've played a lot slower and a lot more methodically. So I think this is actually a pretty decent, it's a better matchup than I would say OKC was for the Kings. So the fact that they were able to handle OKC does make me feel a little bit better about just, styles make fights. I would say the styles of these two teams lend itself, I think, to help out the Kings a little bit more.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, might be a meal.
I don't think so.
I'm looking at Kyle.
I don't think so.
He walked in 3 seconds before the end of the break and said he needed to go to a meeting. So I'm going to go try and find him in the break.
That sounds like a
good.
no. It's okay.
So when we get back, we will ask the question, will the real Sacramento Kings please stand up? And I will have a segment. I know Chris likes to joke about the stature of our own Davion Mitchell. But if there's a game where Davion could be utilized,
maybe
it's
a night like tonight
game. Yeah. And I will have an ode to the fellow short Kings, specifically on the Arizona Cardinals. That's what's up next. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Get year-end pricing during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on our entire selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Ridgeline Civics, and Accords. Plus, with low finance and lease options, now's the time to buy. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Folsom Lake Honda, or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
I always approach the holidays with a sense of excitement and a time to be with family. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, uncles, aunts, brothers, and sisters. It was that way at my Noni's home, especially at my mother's home, and today at my own home around my Naturewood dining table. The order of the day is stories, the sweet sound of children laughing. Thanks for all the blessings we each enjoy, and of course, food. Always lots of food. Home is always adorned with special trimmings which remind of past gatherings, good times shared, and relatives that have passed on. Family-owned Naturewood Home Furnishings recognizes the significance of the holidays, and buyers pay special attention to find the distinctive pieces of furniture that you'll love for its individuality today and treasure for memories you'll have tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Guys, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making you this guarantee. We will improve the medical condition of your ED or low T, or we'll give you your money back. Book today. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane, trying jam. There's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip, a brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m., previewing the Kings versus the Cavs. And Chris Watkins' favorite player, Donovan Mitchell. Friend of the show, by the way. Shout out Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, no, he is for you.
I'm so mad I forgot to wear my rookie jacket today.
Oh, well.
Remember,
you can run and grab
I hated
it.
that.
We got a long break coming up.
Remember, you want me to drive home real quick?
Couldn't stand that.
When him and Ben Simmons were fighting over rookie of the
That's
year.
right.
Yeah, but nobody made a stink of it when Blake Griffin did it.
Or
you know?
Chet's in the running right
Chet's
now.
doing it right now.
So I don't have a problem with it.
What a funny world where
People
that
just
was.
hated Ben Simmons, even back then.
Shout out Ben Simmons. As we preview Kings, Cavs, still talking about the Niners and that shellacking of the Jaguars, Duval, and there were a bunch of. Did you see? There's a video going around.
Oh, jeez.
And the video is basically a Jaguars fan saying, "This is your guys' stadium now." He was just joking, saying, "This is your stadium now."
Yeah.
And I guess it was really at the end of the game, or towards the end of the game, it was really overcast. And he said, "You guys,
it just turned
you
into
beat us so bad. It looks like the Bay Area now.
Turned Florida into Santa Clara."
Yeah, so the Jacksonville Jaguars are down bad. That was not a good showing. Putting up 3 points in this quote-unquote flag football era is never a good look, but it's a great look for Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and the San Francisco 49ers. They get back on track. Emil Fergoso, 11:30, Sactown Sports Niners reporter, as we continue to break down the Kings going up against the Cavs. And we were talking about Donovan Mitchell.
Yep.
Chris, you always have things to say about Donovan Mitchell and the wingspan and how he's a bit limited and who he can guard. But
Davion. Wait, are we talking Donovan or Davion?
Davion.
Davion.
We're talking Davion.
There we go.
Right?
Need to be clear on today's date.
Yes. I'm talking about, well, you don't like either of them, really.
Well, let's not say I don't like. I just say I see some problems.
But I will say this is a day, and we have used this term, short kings. If you've been rocking, you've been listening. Yeah. I use the term zonts because we are more horizontal. If you are above 6 foot, you are a vert because you are more vertical.
Yes.
Right. So this was a big weekend for the Arizona Cardinals, the Arizona Zonts, right? Because they got the W. Kyler returns.
Yeah.
Okay. And Kyler right here, this is the Cardinals short king lineup. All right. So Kyler claims 5'10". Brother.
No way. 5'8", 5'9".
I'm 5'10" in the media guide as well. Yeah. I know with cleats on and a couple Dr. Scholl's, we'll get you there. But Kyler, I don't think so, brother. But it's okay. We still accept you for who you are.
I guess.
Kyler 5'10", Marquise Brown 5'9", Rondale Moore 5'7", Greg Dortch 5'7", and Amari DeMarco 5'9".
There's no
That
way.
is the short king lineup for the Cardinals. They got it done. Even though we are more horizontal, we still persevere.
There's no way.
Mm-hmm. And relative, and no. Hey, you can be quick. Football is football. Everybody jokes about baseball is. Trust me, I played baseball.
Sure.
Okay. The way their eyes light up when somebody is 6'5", they do not care about a 5'9" hitting a seed up the middle. They do not care about that. So I don't want to hear. But football, if you do one thing very well, I think football might be the sport where height matters the least.
That's tough.
Cowboys fans were loving Deuce Vaughn.
Position dependent on position.
Right. Of course. I guess I hear what you're saying. It's I'm just trying to think of the other sports. Like baseball, of course, just has such a Jose Altuve is a ridiculous athlete. So
that's the most exceptional athlete maybe I've ever seen.
Yes. Yeah, and then number 2 is like Mookie Betts, who's also under 6 foot, but it's like maybe the second best athlete.
Mookie can dunk
he literally can. I hear what you're saying. Like in no other sport could like someone who's as differently sized as Tyreek Hill be as ridiculous as he is. Like Isaiah Thomas was as close as we've seen in basketball to like someone who was short but was acting like someone who wasn't
Nate Robinson.
At his size. Yeah, but even Nate Robinson never, really, Nate Robinson wasn't even a starter in the NBA, like it's
He had a run. Didn't he have a run?
Yeah, he was there for a minute.
He's very replaceable though.
Right.
Like, in football you can truly be a star in high, like again, Tyreek Hill, and it doesn't really impact you. Percy Harvin, and it doesn't really impact you.
Yesterday, the two guys coming in is DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Did you see that?
Tyler Lockett as well.
Did you see that?
Could not be any more different.
Both wide receivers.
Yeah.
Both wide receivers. It has to be football.
It has to, where height just doesn't matter. Because even in golf, like it kind of matters in golf. Like, just in terms of like, if you're a bigger guy, you're just going to be able to pull it. It shadily
matters in tennis, which you don't really
for sure.
Yeah,
just in terms of reach and stuff like that. Absolutely.
Lionel Messi like 5'8.5"?
Yes, but again, put him under Altuve.
Yeah. But he's okay. So I don't know soccer as well. He's more of the exception to the rule.
I would say so. CK916 on the YouTube chat is saying
probably soccer but
be careful.
But soccer is also, I wouldn't say it's like
you don't need to be
really can only be a striker or a winger if you're small in soccer. There's like the occasional small center back, but for the most part, like I mean, there's a couple like
it's football,
defensive mids who
it's
are
football.
It's probably an even split of soccer and football.
Okay,
that's what I would say. That's probably the right take to have. But in terms of the American glasses, for sure, absolutely, it's
yes,
football.
It's got to be football.
Yeah.
Darren Sproles,
yeah, Darren
right?
Sproles exists.
All those
of course,
guys.
you can't have short linemen or anything like that. But even then,
so I say all this to
Aaron
say,
Donald,
relatively speaking, Davion Mitchell he's an NBA Zont, right? He's not a Zont in real life, right? He's 6 foot, but he's an NBA Zont. And this is a day where I think we could use his services, the Kings can,
for sure,
because you have Darius Garland who goes 6'1", and you have Donovan Mitchell who goes 6'3", right? And both of those guys, I would be comfortable. It's not a Klay Thompson 6'7", and I don't think Klay's made a shot since that game winner. But that's a conversation for a different day. Sorry,
can't
Klay.
even make layups these days.
At this point, he just let it all hang out on that one
right
shot against the Kings. But I think this is a game where even though we talked about with Shai Gilgeous, you had to go Keon Ellis.
Yeah, for sure.
I think you've won 2 in a row.
Right.
You go Keon Ellis, but you tell Davion, off night needs to show up tonight because you have 2 guards where you can just let him go and put him on an island.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic call. In both, I said it during the playoff series, but like that's in a series where you're going against Steph Curry for 7 games. That's where Davion's going to shine his most because, of how reliant the Warriors are on Steph. And, Cleveland, to a certain extent, is definitely that reliant on their guards. They're definitely reliant on Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell to get them buckets. And, yeah, Davion's size profile definitely fits his ability to guard them and their importance as well. I agree. I think Davion definitely could have the biggest impact on tonight's game if he shows up defensively, which more times than not, he definitely does. But I would love to see. I wouldn't even mind if Davion gets inserted into that lineup. We're going to talk later about, if Keon Ellis has shown up in his 2 games, which I think he has, spoiler, but I definitely wouldn't be upset if Mike Brown wants to kind of look at how Davion's performed coming off the bench and say, all right, maybe I'm willing to give this guy another shot because, situationally and positionally, it kind of makes sense on a night like tonight. So I think that's a great call. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity for Davion. Hey, if you get an opportunity to go up and do something that you're good at, right? Yeah. You have an opportunity to, hey, I'm supposed to be good at this. Yeah. I get to show everybody why I believe I'm good at this, why coach believes I'm good at this. This is my night.
I actually kind of think Davion on Donovan's like a perfect matchup for him, just physically as
just
well. Like, because Donovan Mitchell's big thing is, Donovan Mitchell's a pretty strong dude. Like, and he's low center of gravity and everything. So he kind of uses his strength to push people around. I think he's got the lower edge, he's got the leverage edge on him for sure, being smaller. I don't think Donovan could push Davion around like that.
I don't think he really could. I think the question becomes, even though Donovan is a better player than Darius Garland,
for sure,
I don't know if the Kings have anybody else that could guard Darius Garland, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Because
if
you
it's
put
not Keon, absolutely.
Right. Well, and you're not going to play Keon and Davion. We've seen some wild lineups, but Mike, we got to stop somewhere.
You got to draw lines.
We can't do that. Because I would probably put Davion on Garland.
Yeah, that does make
because
sense.
I don't like Keegan on Garland.
No.
I'm actually a really big Garland guy.
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
in my group of
really
those new
too.
guards, those young guards. So I would like Davion probably on Darius Garland at least to start. If Darius has been off and maybe, hey, we need to slow down Donovan a bit, maybe you switch it up. The question I would have is if you put Davion on Darius, I mean, how many I was going to say how many names that start with the letter D can you say here? But if you have Davion on Garland, who would you put on Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah.
Because based on what we've seen from Keegan, it's more important to me. That's what's tough, right?
Yep.
Because, the 2 options, I'm not putting Harrison Barnes in that conversation. It's either Herter or Keegan.
Yeah.
You have Herter, who's just now heating up. Do you sacrifice that to chase
potentially
around?
sacrifice it?
Yes, to potentially throw him off by throwing him on Donovan all game,
getting tired legs,
right? Or do you put Keegan, who he fought his way to that 24?
He really
that was
did.
a hard-earned 24. He's still not shooting the ball well. Would you put Keegan on him because, okay, Keegan, just focus on defense and whatever we get from you offensively is gravy? What would you do?
I personally, and looking at the numbers, I think I would put Kevin Huerter on Donovan Mitchell.
I think I would too.
I looked at some of the numbers, and last year in the games in which the Kings played Cleveland, Kevin Huerter actually defended pretty well. In those 2 games, they averaged 9 shots per game against Kevin. They shot at 33%. So he did the best of anybody who played in those matchups last year. And I kind of think, Mike Brown has talked about, he threw Kevin Huerter on Steph earlier. By their metrics, Kevin Huerter is actually one of the best defenders on the Kings. You can argue about that all you want. It's just a thing that Mike Brown has been adamant about. So he'll contest you on it if you want to go back and forth. But they believe Kevin Huerter is somebody who's capable of defending. And frankly, Kevin Huerter has to be able to defend guys like Donovan Mitchell on some nights, because if he wants to stay on the floor for 30 minutes and keep that starting spot, part of it is defending as well. And I think Mike Brown's made it very clear that that's going to have to be a part of this team's identity this year. So, I think it's got to be Kevin Huerter, or else, he's not going to be able to hold down that lineup spot for the entire season I should say past this season, because I think Mike Brown is really looking at guys to play defense. And right now it's looking good for Kevin for sure. But, I think that the defensive end is going to be the thing that's going to determine who locks down that spot permanently.
Yeah. And for Kevin Huerter, you talk about, is defense just effort? And we talk about when you're in CYO maybe, but when you get a little bit older, it's nice to have a couple, nice to have length. It's nice to be able to jump. It's
lateral
quickness. Kevin Huerter, when you talk about E for effort, that guy gives it all defensively, and you can tell. So,
yes, sir.
So good on Kevin. Look, the only other guys, like you're talking about Chris Duarte and Vezenkov, guys like that. Right now, to your point, it's not that it's not iron sharpens iron, but it's Kevin Huerter. And that's why you specifically said this season, because I don't know, as of right now, it's a long season. Yeah. Based on what I've seen from Duarte and Vezenkov, there's nobody that can get, if Duarte is better than Huerter defensively, sure, but offensively, I haven't seen anything from Duarte to make me think.
Agreed.
I'll take Kevin and just hope that this is the night that he goes off.
Agreed.
Every single
100%.
night. Every single night. Yep. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, the question is, to all you Slim Shady fans, will the real Sacramento Kings please stand up? Please stand up. Please stand up. That and more. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open. Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports. Wait, are we matching the day? Is this our 13th show on the 13th of November? There's no way.
Math real quick.
Yep.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
How did we pull that off?
It's like the
Weekends,
Yeah, this is
that's
13.
how.
Wow.
13
like
on
a
13.
leap year thing. Is that kind of what it is? Like
Yeah.
every now and then the clock is just right.
13 for 13, not 30 for 30. I'm probably going to play the lottery today then. And I'll tell you what,
Right,
Chris,
13's
I've
supposed to
had
be the
so
lucky
much
number.
fun with you
Ooh.
these 13 days. If I won it, I'd be here tomorrow. I would.
No, you have to.
No, yeah, I would.
You actually
contractually.
have to be here.
Oh wait, so for the rest of the week it's going to line up because 14 on the 14th,
That's true.
15, 15, all the way to the end of the week.
Wow. That's crazy. I don't know
That
what
is
else to do with
crazy.
but
Yeah, that is
Damn,
sure
that's
is crazy.
is
Yeah.
what you say when
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
don't
no,
think
That's
that's
that
crazy.
LeBron. Yo, that's crazy.
That's what you say, you know,
crazy.
when I'm on the phone with, I don't know, one of my sisters or somebody.
That's
Yeah, man, that is
crazy.
no.
Whoa.
She said, "What? That's
What?
crazy." Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m.
What?
Emil
Damn, that's
Fergoso
crazy.
at 11:30. Sactown Sports Niners reporter. We will get the biggest update after the Niners' big win, because that's what they do. They win big, or they just don't tend to show up at all. So that's at 11:30. We have our Who Would You Rather Have? Would you rather A or B at 11:45? We will continue to preview the Kings at 12 p.m. And yes, 1:15 will be our dog segment. So get those dogs in. We want some unique picks. You got to go out on a limb.
Yeah.
Right? Nate, a couple days ago, he said, hey, JaVale McGee's going to have 3 offensive rebounds in 1 possession.
Yeah.
He was terribly wrong.
JaVale hasn't seen the floor since, literally.
I think maybe Nate shouldn't do the dog segments because or whoever Nate says, just stay away from them. But everybody else.
In fairness, Nate made up for it because he predicted Cleveland Ferrell would have a sack yesterday.
That's true.
Great.
That's true. We can take the dog segment to the Niners as well. Why not? As we break down the Kings and the Cavs, and will the real Sacramento Kings please stand up? They are 2-3 in their last 5 games, all without De'Aaron Fox. 4-4 through 8 games with 5 without Fox. They lost two to the same opponent in the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets. So who are the Kings, Chris? Are they who we saw on Friday? I hope they're not who we saw in Houston,
Yeah.
or are they just somewhere in between?
I think that they're a team, and this is newsflash, so get your pen and pencil. They're a team that, frankly, needs De'Aaron Fox to be the team that they ultimately want to be. I think that's the first and foremost thing that we've learned so far throughout the season is if the Kings are going to be a team that builds upon the success of last year, if they are going to make it to the second round of the playoffs, newsflash, none of that is possible without their star for a large portion of the season. It's very clear that they wouldn't probably be able to survive 20 plus games without De'Aaron Fox this year. So that is first and foremost who this Sacramento Kings is. It's a team that needs their superstar in order to be the ultimate weapon that they need to be. They're not one of these teams that can be like, Phoenix. It feels like, I don't think, has Phoenix played a game this year in which all 3 guys have played? I don't think so. Maybe once, if even that. So, they're not a team that can really afford to, load manage or have guys miss ticky-tack games here and there with nagging injuries. So that's first and foremost is they, much like the Niners, kind of need to be at full strength in order to look like the team that I think that we all think they're capable of being. But so far, I would just say that they're figuring it out on the fly, and to kind of tie in with the De'Aaron Fox thing, they don't really know who they are at this point in time. I think they're quickly learning who they can be, but I don't think it's the team that they thought they would be at the beginning of the season, if that makes sense.
Right. Basically, this team, in theory, was just supposed to be, we're just going to keep rolling offensively.
Just
we're
do
going
what
to
you
make
did
open
last year,
shots,
but yeah.
and we're going to play better defense. And that's what we're going to do. We added Sasha Vezenkov for the offensive punch. We added Chris Duarte for more of a defensive punch. And we're just going to rock and roll.
Yep.
And you know what they say about when you make plans? Somebody's always laughing at those plans.
Or Mike Tyson, everyone's got a plan until you get hit in the face.
And that's what happened, or roll an ankle, essentially. And that's what happened with De'Aaron Fox, and the Kings are powering through it. I will say, interesting note, and I look, like we said, the Jazz did this last season. But Nuggets are missing Jamal Murray, so very similar to the Kings. I would say less important, the Nuggets missing Jamal Murray than De'Aaron Fox being missing from the Kings. Nuggets just lost a game.
They did.
And who did they lose to?
I believe the Timberwolves. Yeah.
The Houston Rockets
as well.
6-3 Houston Rockets.
There you go. Yeah.
Six straight
Houston Rockets.
Gonna win the West.
Okay. Put some respect on their name.
Gonna win the West here. The Houston Rockets. So, and that's a Denver Nuggets team that beat the Warriors without Jamal Murray.
Yep.
So how bad, and they also beat the Pelicans, and we'll talk about Zion later because give me a break, Zion. So how bad do those losses, they still look bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to do with the Rockets because even if the Rockets fall off a cliff, for this stretch, they are playing out of their minds.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Out of their minds.
I think at the very least, again, if you want to take the glass half full approach to the Kings' losses so far, it's a Warrior team that just knows them incredibly well. And let's not forget that they also started off the season incredibly well. They started 6-2. And then, Houston is a team that has won 6 straight and playing. I believe they have the longest win streak in the Western Conference right now, and they're playing incredible basketball. It's not just the fact that they're getting results and scraping by. They're killing teams. Like they beat the Lakers by 30 after beating the Kings in back-to-back games. And then, they took down the Nuggets as well. Those are really good, legitimate wins for them. So regardless of if this maintains or not, the Kings played, it's all about, relative when you play a team in the schedule. Like if the Kings had to play, they had to play the Lakers early in the year when they were completely healthy. The Warriors when they were still, rolling and before they ended up finding struggles. So it all depends on when you face these teams as well. And the Kings faced Houston when they were just kind of starting to get hot. You could argue maybe the Kings were that Mario Kart rainbow strip that kind of sent them on this path. But clearly Houston is a lot better of a team than what I think anybody expected them to be. So again, looking at the Kings' losses, it maybe doesn't hurt so bad to say you lost to teams that were really good when you played them.
That's right.
And it's really that cut and dry. And their wins are pretty solid wins. Now the Lakers have struggled, but that's still a decent win. And, against OKC heading into that game was playing totally fine. Kings beat them as well. Utah, not the best opponent, but still was able to handily win that game.
Not in the basement.
And that wasn't a struggle to win that game. So I think the Kings have done fine so far. Again, when you take a step back and you look at the reasons behind everything, and you look at the future of what this team has as they're getting healthy, as Jamal Murray's going to miss a month or so, and teams are struggling to kind of, now they're not finding health. I think the Kings have done well so far to just kind of keep their head above water without De'Aaron Fox.
If the Kings get this win tonight without De'Aaron Fox against a fully loaded Cavs team with a star, much to Chris's chagrin, I am feeling very good about where they currently are.
Sure.
I mean, you have a Warriors team, and look, not the time for it. We can wait. They play November 28th. I may be there non-media. I'm trying to work on some things. I got to talk to some people. I might be there non-media, taking the wifey to go to the real game. I don't think we're taking baby. I don't think we're going to do headphones.
Yeah, the headphone
I don't think
thing.
so.
It's probably best to just
think
get
so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Giving a sitter's the best way.
So we're not going to talk about it now, but I call it a rivalry. Even though the Kings haven't won as much as the Warriors, you can throw out the records when they play. It's always going to be a good game.
Oh,
So you have two of those, 2 losses, and one of them, like I said, Klay Thompson, the records show Klay Thompson has not made a jump shot since that game.
Yeah.
Since that game.
They owe us
I
one
have
now,
not
too.
seen it.
They
So
definitely owe us.
you have that going on. Then you have a Houston team who's just in fuego right now. They're going Super Saiyan. Shout out Goku.
Yep.
So they're going crazy right now as well. And that's it. Besides that, you have some solid wins.
Yep.
If they get this win tonight against a Cavs team who just beat the Warriors, who they're feeling good. Donovan Mitchell is just out of his mind right now. Darius Garland is the perfect Robin to his Batman. Without De'Aaron Fox, I'm willing to start having those real conversations again about the depth of the Kings and how the Kings stack up, because I don't know how many other teams in the West, right, missing their guy. If you can do a pound for pound comparison of how important De'Aaron Fox is compared to some of these other guys who they all have these other legitimate stars and these super teams, whatever it is, to beat OKC underdog. We got to check as well in Vegas if they're underdogs again tonight. My guess is that they would be.
They, let me check real quick. They are underdogs.
There
1.5 point underdogs.
Boom.
To the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Damn, that's
I'm trying
crazy.
to find. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, for what it's worth right now, are on a 3-game road trip that saw them go from Oklahoma. Well, actually, technically, this is a really weird road trip, and the NBA has to figure these things out. They were at New York, at Indiana, then came home for Golden State, then flew out to Oklahoma City, and then out to Golden State. They then play tonight in Sacramento, and then again Wednesday in Portland. So they're on a bit of a road trip here, where that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6 of 7 on the road here? So that's a really tough road trip, and the Kings are kind of catching them right in the middle of it as well. Like that is a very real thing, especially early in the season on your first elongated road trip. Usually those things are a little bit tough. So scheduling wise, the Kings might have the advantage tonight.
Sure, but the Kings deserve a break because you're missing your.
Of course.
Yes,
they need all the advantage of
taking exactly. So you'll take that 916-339-1140 right here from the 209. Kings showed a lot of fight, hustle, and sacrifice. Kings came out with the win. Fans showed up. Don't change the rotation just yet. Kings for the win tonight. Sabonis will lead the charge.
Ooh.
That is from Jamie. Shout out, Jamie. Got to get to a break. When we get back, Emil Fergoso, Niners reporter for Sactown Sports, breaking down the big win. And what's next for the San Francisco 49ers? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi, or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat. Bring out all the flavors of the holidays with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill is turning me into a pro. Napoleon Grills has features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last, complete with a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. All made with premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Just go to Napoleon.com for your nearby Napoleon Grills dealer. Napoleon Grills. Now is the time for the best selection of grills and fine accessories for the holidays.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring today.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. At Sac Sewer, it's our first priority. Whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night at 916-875-6730. Sac Sewer. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of thousands of customers every single day. Learn how you can leverage their reach for your business. Text digital to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text digital to 916-766-5105.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, SafeMart, and Winco, or a local grocery store near you.
It's 11:32, which means it's time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. Joining us right now on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop, we have Emil Fragoso, brought to you by the Timber Creek Golf Course. Book your tee times today at timbercreekgc.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking up to 2 p.m. A lot of Kings talk. We'll get right back to it. Niners talk to start the show. Kings talk is coming up. 11:45. A or B? Would you rather, or who would you rather? That's at 11:45. Since I already messed up the tease earlier. Now I'm going to super tease it. Two players. I'm going to read their age. I'm going to read their salary, their contract, and I'm going to read their stats. And I'm just going to say A or B. And we want to know who you have. And Emil, maybe you can be a part of that as well.
Ooh. Sounds fun. Sounds really
because
fun.
I see you. You're in the studio. You're messing around. I'm trying to do a show here. I see you in the back. You're messing around with Kyle in the
Man,
back.
that's wild.
Oh, enough. Emil Fragoso does a great job for us, Sactown Sports Niners reporter. Emil, I mean, you talk about a statement to come back exactly how you draw it up after a bye week. The Niners come up, beat the Jaguars, and that's being nice to the Jaguars, 34-3. How did you see the win? What were your initial thoughts?
From the moment Chase Young gritted out of the tunnel, you could just feel there was a different vibe with this team.
Yeah, he was in it too.
He was in it. Like Chase Young talked about after the game, it was like an out-of-body experience. Like it was the happiest he has felt in the NFL in many years to be a part of this team. This Niner team is back. And I get it. It's one game, and it's the Jaguars. But the Jaguars were on a 5-0 winning streak, and they've beaten some pretty competitive teams along the way. And they're leading the AFC South, which, again, the Houston Texans are right up on their heels now. There's a lot of good teams even in the AFC. I know it's kind of close. But the Niners just reestablishing on all three levels, offense, defense, and special teams, that they one of the playoff contenders. It was a big, big statement to do on the road, especially with the Trent Williams, who was 75% healthy, not 100%, but they looked the part. And the Niners, when everything's clicking right, it's wonderful. When it's not, it's not.
Man, yeah, and talking about that pass rush and Chase Young, what would you give initial report card for the Buckeye Boys or whatever they want to call
Buckeye Bookends?
Do they have a nickname? Buckeye Bookends.
The Buckeye Bookends.
A little wordy, but I'll take it. It's okay.
It's a alliteration. I don't know.
Exactly.
For the pair or just for Chase Young?
Both, but definitely Chase Young for sure. I mean, they both ended up getting to the quarterback.
They did, yeah, but I got a half sack for Chase Young and 2 quarterback hits. I would say for Chase Young is a B+, and for the pair an A. They were fantastic together. Yeah. Like it was literally a race to the quarterback. When Trevor Lawrence was getting swarmed there, and you have Chase Young coming from the left side, who got there first, by the way. Chase Young should have gotten the sack most of it. Bosa was able to strip the ball out of him and take it away. When you have 2 superstar pass rushers going at you from one end to the other, it's just a nightmare matchup for every single quarterback. And I feel bad because Trevor was, for some reason, holding the ball a lot longer than he had in previous games. One of the faster throwing guys in the NFL this season. But going against this Niners defense and the pass rush, I mean, strength on strength, just building strength on strength.
Yeah.
it's very clear they are the team, especially pass rushing. Like, who are you going to stop?
No one. I mean, or no one is going to stop them getting to the quarterback. And it really was a race. Next week they have the Buccaneers, and I was joking about Baker Mayfield being a guy because they had beef with Baker Mayfield.
Oh, they still do.
Back in college.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
He planted the flag. Didn't he at the O?
Nick Bosa takes it real personal.
Gosh.
Yeah, he planted the flag. So I think it's going to be tough for them. Brock Purdy and what he has been able to do.
Yeah, man.
That throw, man, and I actually never said it. I'm going to say it here, Chris. To me, that throw to George Kittle, I am deeming that throw the hater breaker.
Wow.
The hater breaker.
Hater breaker.
Because if you watch that throw, you can't be a hater after that.
No.
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. Your favorite quarterback, you would love to make that throw.
If CJ Stroud made that throw, if Joe Burrow made that throw, Patrick Mahomes, even on the first touchdown where he's scrambling to his left and rolls back and throws over the middle, risky. But if Mahomes made that, Burrow made it, Allen made it, you're all chiming in how great Brock Purdy is. You're all chiming in how great these quarterbacks are. Yeah. Because it's Brock Purdy, you got to be like, that was a bad decision. I don't like that. And it's super funny because we all talked all the time about Brock Purdy and his arm strength and how it wasn't to the standards of regular franchise quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't have the gun. He can't throw it 70 yards on the field. Is it possible that the UCL surgery made his arm stronger? It looks like it got better.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
No,
I don't know. Whitey said that before. That like with baseball pitch, I mean, you would probably know a little bit more about the baseball angle,
it's
but
not
like
a thing.
sometimes guys get Tommy John, which he did not get. He didn't.
No,
he
had a
didn't
UCL
get Tommy John
repair,
surgery.
not reconstruction to Tommy John. A repair is just reattaching it and putting screws in.
I remember Whitey telling me that in the past, and now it's not the case all the time, but in the past, some people have came back with even stronger arms. Like they rebuilt it to be even stronger.
And I feel like that's the case because you look back, then they played the Raiders last year and he had that deep interception. That was a duck that he threw against the Raiders last year, and that was picked off. I forget by who. But he's not making the throw to Kittle that he made yesterday. Last season, I don't think he is. I think his arm talent and his strength has gotten up because he's had to work so much and had to come back from this injury that he's overworked his arm to the point where it's actually like a lot more muscle than it was in college.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
We need to keep that.
We need to keep that for sure. I don't like that. Why does it sound like SpongeBob?
Yeah, it does sound like SpongeBob. It does.
It does. Anyway, Brock Purdy, that throw was incredible. The fact that he was being collapsed in the pocket and had literally no place to step into and just hucked it, maybe with his eyes closed. I don't know, but it was perfectly on the money to George Kittle, and they knew that they were in man coverage and that Kittle was going to get open. It just took a second. And for Purdy to have the faith to just throw that thing, I mean, that's a high-level quarterback right there.
Yeah, so just kind of breaking down his performance, what would you say? I mean, what the last couple games and really last couple throws in the last quarter of those couple games, not even the whole game.
Yes.
Much ado about nothing.
I would say it's him trying to do too much. Again, the Niners have struggled to come back from a deficit, especially late. You know, Kyle has like 1 in 30 when he comes back 6 points or under in the fourth quarter, 1 in 38 when they're trailing by more than 7 points in the fourth quarter.
We read them.
It's not good. It's a real thing now. I don't like that.
I don't.
That's why the Niners have to be up. And when they're up, they are just humming like a fine-tuned machine. And I think Brock Purdy is a very talented quarterback. And yes, those mistakes can't happen. But because of those mistakes, because of the Week 8 collapse that he had, it wasn't a good fourth quarter because of those late picks. He went on a break, went on a bye, reset, went to Iowa, used a tractor to plow his fiance's fields and all that great stuff and just got away. That helped him reset because he took it to heart. He took all that to heart. And this guy is one of those guys where if he makes even a minuscule mistake, he'll think about it over and over and over again. It's an obsession. It's a perfection thing. And that's kind of what the Niners are on, of being perfect. They want to be perfect every single game. And that's never going to happen. But even after this game where you're up 34-3, he's like, yeah, there's some things we got to work on, guys.
I was looking at some of George Kittle's numbers, and after that 3 touchdown performance against the Cowboys, he had that at this point pretty infamous or notorious 1-yard performance in that Browns game. Since then, in the past 3 weeks or 3 games, I should say, Kittle has 17 catches for 343 yards and a touchdown. Do you feel like that's intentional? Do you feel like after having that big performance against Dallas and then doing pretty much nothing against Cleveland, Kyle kind of has made it a point to give him the ball? I mean, that I mean, it was the second play of the second half that they did that 66-yard touchdown to Kittle. So do you feel like they're making it a point to kind of get him involved after, the first 5 weeks were mainly Christian McCaffrey shows?
Yeah, I do think, and I think it's kind of because they've had a lot of issues on the right side of the line, and that's why Kittle kind of is there to chip the pass rusher and then get out, and so it kind of delays his timing on the routes and stuff. But when you line up Kittle against a linebacker, and that's kind of what happened on that play where he got deep, he was lined up on a linebacker and got around him, and that's just kind of easy money for a guy like George Kittle. That play especially, that wasn't in the pregame huddle. There's usually a 8 to 10 plays they want to call after halftime, like let's go to this play, this play, this play. That wasn't in there apparently, according to Kittle. So when Kyle called it, they were all kind of surprised, but they knew that because they were in man coverage that no one else was on that side of the field. So if Kittle won his route and got open, it was a free touchdown. And so to have a guy like George Kittle, who I think is on par with like Travis Kelce in terms of the most after the catch athletic tight ends I've seen in a long time, because what he does in the open field is just special. It's a luxury for this team who has Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, the list just goes on in terms of offensive playmakers, and to have a guy like Kittle, who is now 30 years old, no longer a young up and comer, but to still play at this high level is just so special for this team.
Wow. Emil Fergoso, Sactown Sports Niners reporter. Emil, thank you as always. I know you got to run and you're dealing with Kyle Shanahan. He's going to speak to the media. So are you going? You go to Santa Clara, or are you just going to?
No, it's a conference call.
Okay,
but they changed the time, so I got to be wary of that.
There you go. Well, Emil, thank you as always. We will talk to you again next week, hopefully celebrating another Niners W and probably a couple sacks. And if you're watching on the YouTube, you probably just saw Emil do the Nick Bosa shrug, and maybe there will be a couple of those after they get after the quarterback in Baker Mayfield, because they don't like that guy out there. But Emil, we love you.
Thank you.
And thanks for joining as always. We'll talk to you soon. When we get back, would you rather two guys, player A or player B? I'm asking Kyle. I'm asking Chris. I'm going to ask Emil, who's going to be back messing around with Kyle as usual. And I'm asking you, the audience, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
I don't like that.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple of people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches at my feet stopped hurting and the pain literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin, don't you soft on the potty. Let's just muscle roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and hella nice. The grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushion and face, so the chicks feel fine. So everybody wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I always approach the holidays with a sense of excitement and a time to be with family. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. From the time I was a youngster, the family table was always filled with a gathering of grandparents, uncles, aunts, brothers, and sisters. It was that way at my Noni's home, especially at my mother's home, and today at my own home around my Naturewood dining table. The order of the day is stories, the sweet sound of children laughing. Thanks for all the blessings we each enjoy, and of course, food. Always lots of food. Home is always adorned with special trimmings which remind of past gatherings, good times shared, and relatives that have passed on. Family-owned Naturewood Home Furnishings recognizes the significance of the holidays, and buyers pay special attention to find the distinctive pieces of furniture that you'll love for its individuality today and treasure for memories you'll have tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Most people know that the term birdie in golf refers to a score of 1 under par, but where did the term originate? According to Scottish Golf History website, it comes from the early 20th century American slang term bird, which meant anything excellent. While a 1911 edition of Maclean magazine described a golf shot as bird straight down the course about 215 yards, the country club in Atlantic City lays claim to the first use of the word birdie. In 1898, A.B. Smith was playing the par 4 second hole when his second shot went within inches of the hole. That was a bird of a shot, he said, and claimed he should get double money if he scored 1 under par. He did indeed hold his putt, and the group thereafter referred to such a score as a birdie. In 1913, acclaimed writer Bernard Darwin wrote in the September issue of Country Life of his visit to America. He explained that it takes a day or two for the English onlooker to understand that a birdie is a hole done in a stroke under par. And now you know. That's Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
You know what time it is. It's time to trade up to a brand new Kia at Folsom Lake Kia. Trade up to the newest technology with a low payment. Shop Folsom Lake Kia, family owned for over 20 years.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. Thank you again to Emil Fragoso for checking in with us as we talked all things Niners, and we get back to the Kings. Because we are monitoring the situation. Chris, do you have the tweet up from Shams?
Yes, I do.
Because it is
my check.
Right, because it is something that I guess broke. And Shams, look, man, he's 0 for 1.
0 for 1
on Kings reports.
Yeah.
So, not to say we're going to take it with a grain of salt, but we were just monitoring the situation. Chris, you have the tweet.
This one's a little bit more credible, I will say, and I'll explain why after. This is from at Sham Sharania. Sacramento Kings all-star De'Aaron Fox is expected to return to the lineup as soon as tonight versus the Cavaliers or Wednesday at the Lakers. Sources tell me and at Sam Amick, Fox has missed the last 5 games due to a sprained ankle. He was a full participant in today's shoot-around. Also, if you follow our great Sacramento Kings insiders, either Frankie Cardicelli or Brendan Nunez, then you would know that De'Aaron also was I believe, a full or a partial participant in practice yesterday. But they said he was pretty much looking like he was at full speed. So whether or not he fully participated or partially participated, it seemed like yesterday he was heavily involved in the practice. And so, I mean, it seems like we don't have to wait much longer for De'Aaron to come back. I would be surprised if it's tonight, but I definitely think by the end of this week, it seems like we'll get that all-star back.
Well, and that again makes this game even more important if he doesn't play, because that would mean you made it, right? You made it out, and it wasn't easy.
You see the light at the end of the tunnel a little,
because, I mean, and obviously we've been talking about the Rockets being maybe better than we assumed they were going to be.
Yeah.
But if you look at the trajectory of what the Kings have done, if they're able to get this W tonight, you would say, okay, you lost De'Aaron Fox, you finished out that Laker game. I'll take that. Then you went on to play a darn good game against the Warriors. Unfortunately, Klay Thompson closed his eyes and made a shot, and then that's your first loss without De'Aaron. Then you have a rough go. You have a rough go in Houston to a team that is now being thought as better than we initially thought, but you still didn't show up.
Yep.
That was basically hopefully the worst of it.
Hopefully that's rock bottom.
That Blazers game, right. That Blazers game, you powered through and you're able to get the W. And now maybe you are crawling your way out of this hole that you found yourself in to beat a good Thunder team who you were not favored in. You were underdogs at home, first in season tournament game. And next, you have to go up against the Cavs, who have been rolling a little bit. Yeah, they're on a road trip, but they've been rolling with a superstar in Donovan Mitchell and a nice secondary guard in Darius Garland and a long front court with Mobley and Allen. So if you can get that W and then tell them what they've won, Johnny, you get De'Aaron Fox back with the Lakers. And I'm looking here, just being on Shams' page, 23 hours ago, LeBron was out when they faced the Blazers. I believe they won. I believe the Lakers won. I don't know.
knows?
That's just a LeBron being older thing. We'll assume that LeBron is going to play, but you got to go to LA, and it would be really nice to have De'Aaron when you head down there. So they're having problems. You're bringing Reeves off the bench. He was supposed to be your big three. Now all of a sudden the Lakers need another star because that's what the media does. So it's a very good opportunity for the Kings to get out of this thing just as good as you can and look at it again. I've been using a lot of golf comparisons here. Just get out of there with your bogey and just be very happy. It's a pretty bogey, as we'd say. Yeah. If you can get that W today, I would consider this time without De'Aaron Fox to be a very pretty bogey.
For sure.
And to just keep it pushing. The 209 on the text line, if you want to be a part of the conversation, of course, we would love to have you as well. 916-339-1140. Says, can we get the dog bark sound? That's at 1:15.
Yeah, it's coming.
Hang on, 209. 1:15, we got the dog bark sounds for you, and we will continue to monitor. We will be in touch with Brendan Nunez and our guy, Frankie, or Franco, as I like to call him, Cardicelli as well.
Franco
Cardo, right? If we hear anything else, you, of course, will be the first to know because, of course, we are at Sactown Sports, the flagship, and you can hear every game whether De'Aaron does or does not play.
Yes. And Brendan Nunez did text me as this segment is going on because he is the most inside of insiders, and then let me know that De'Aaron was a full participant yesterday, including 5-on-5 drills. So he is back to full contact, and it seems like at least from the practices, he's all but ready to go. So I don't know if it's going to be a pain tolerance thing, if they're going to check up on him later in the day and see, hey, you were a full go yesterday. Is there any extra swelling, any extra pain or anything like that? Maybe that's what's going to determine it. But it's good that he's at least practicing and clearly on pace to make a quick return. I want to ask you something just off of what you've seen. Like you perfectly put through what the Kings have been going through these last couple weeks without De'Aaron. Do you feel like, and this is kind of an unfair question, it's almost impossible to know, but do you feel like from what you've seen from this team, De'Aaron coming back would be, how do you think they would respond? Would it be an invigorating presence where De'Aaron's back, it gives everyone an energy because they feel like their guy is back and all things are possible? Or is it one of those where it's like, man, boy, oh boy, do we need you. And De'Aaron goes out there and everyone's just so excited to have him back that they almost don't pull the same weight that they've been pulling because it's like the only reason I've been pulling this weight is because this guy's not here and now we can rely a little bit more. Again, a little bit of an impossible question for you, but just from what you've seen so far this year, are you leaning one way or the other?
I would lean towards, and it's a great question, I would lean towards the team feeling like, hey, I think it would be more about, hey, how do we get De'Aaron involved? Yeah. But I don't think they would say, here, De'Aaron, here's the ball. We've missed you. Because I think everybody on that team knew with the expectation that they have had from the moment Steph Curry did the fake light the beam on Game 7, I think the expectation they have had has been that we need to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And to get to the next level, we can't just give the ball to De'Aaron. So I would say that I would expect De'Aaron to have to find his way back, and I think he would prefer it that way because we know that he will.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be great. De'Aaron's here. We're just going to
35 again.
Yeah,
give
here
us 40, please.
Now he might. Yeah. But I think that at the same time they understand, hey, we know our role and we know that De'Aaron, like come clutch time, it's going to be De'Aaron. But we know we have to show up because this. Look, the De'Aaron take us to the promised land. What did it last? A couple games before he got injured, right? So, and that's not why he got injured, right? But the load that he was being asked to carry was never sustainable. Yeah. And I think everybody knows that. Is that going to help the ball go in the basket anymore? I don't know. Probably not. But I think that I wouldn't I wouldn't expect the team to be very passive just because he's returning. Right. I would expect them to say, De'Aaron's back, that's great, but we're going to keep rolling because that helps him.
Yeah.
So we can all keep rolling.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the way that Mike Brown's definitely going to preach it for sure. And yeah, like I think you put that perfectly. Like the easy, when someone's coming back from injury, also the last thing you want to do is just say, "Oh yeah, here's your full plate again."
Yeah,
you'd like to kind of slow feed them into it. And even if it happens throughout the game, kind of like you described, like if it is still, "Hey De'Aaron, we still definitely need you in that fourth quarter, but let's carry our weight for the first 3 quarters, just so you can kind of still, ease your way into it, but let's not forget how important you still are to this unit, and we still have some things that we can't do without you."
Exactly. Got to get to a break. When we get back, had to push it because Emil Fergoso is just his world, and we're just living in it. But when we get back, would you rather player A or player B? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Nobody get me twisted. We need De'Aaron Fox. We need NEED.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions, not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sactown Sports.
It's 12 o'clock, which means it's time to check out Capital Casino, conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. We are monitoring the De'Aaron Fox situation, which I assume we won't get another update until game time.
Probably not.
Right? So be sure to follow Sactown Sports on X and Twitter.
Yeah.
Be sure to follow Chris Watkins, and be sure to follow myself as well.
Yeah.
Chris, because when I was tagging you early on when we first started doing this, the M, your middle name starts with M? Is that what's going on?
Chris'em. No, it's just Chris'em
I'm like,
Watkins.
where is he? He's not coming up. Oh, it's the
Yes,
M.
it's like
Okay,
Yes'em, I don't know. It's
I will ask you what your middle name is on a different day. Not today.
Okay.
All right.
It was like, it takes like 3 seconds.
No.
Okay.
Not now.
That's a mystery.
Not now. Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I'm the bad boy of media. Dang right. You don't
That's
need
right.
to know. It's a need to know basis.
And here, which is also a mystery, I'm going to read, and we're going to go behind the glass to you, Chris, and to the YouTube chat, of course, keeping it rocking for us, and text line, call line, 916-339-1140. 2 players. Who would you rather have? The first player is 28 years old, making $24.3 million this year, averaging 11, 3, and 1 this season.
Okay.
The second player is 31 years old,
Okay.
making $17 million this year, averaging 12, 2, and 1 this season. Which player would you rather have? Player A, 28 years old, making $24 million this year, averaging 11, 3, and 1. That's 11 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound a game this season.
I would guess 3 rebounds, 1 assist.
3 rebounds, 1 assist this season. Second player, 31 years old, making 17 mil, 12 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist this season. Would you rather have player A or player B?
I would go with player A because of youth, and you give me 1 extra rebound. I'll take that. I'll take that.
3 years.
Yeah.
3 years. And
maybe it's because I know who the players are behind the mask.
3 years, $4 million more. No. 3 years.
7 million.
7 million more.
Yeah.
Kyle?
Well, see, I know the 2 people, but Emil says he's going with A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Player
gonna go
A is Andrew Wiggins. Player B is Harrison Barnes.
Yeah. Yeah. Both are doing the exact same level.
They're
of
doing the same
disappointment.
thing.
Except Harrison Barnes has a 30-piece, which I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Is it better that he's shown the capability to score 30, or is it worse because he has that 30 and he's still down to 12 points per game?
Dwayne Baker says math is hard.
It is. It's
yes,
so
it
tough.
is.
It's
I
so
was
tough. Let
a
me tell
strategic communications major, so I don't have my TI-84 on.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, again, just kind of knowing the guys behind the mask, it feels like Harrison Barnes, obviously being 3 years older than Andrew Wiggins, is a little bit more. He's set in that. I don't know if Harrison Barnes, if he's averaging 12 and 2 at age 31, it doesn't make me think that, in 3 years at the age of 34, he's going to be at, 13 and 8 or something like, it makes, I'm just going to go with the younger guy in Andrew Wiggins, who I know he just has a better skills. He's more athletic at this moment in time, and youth definitely might play a factor in that, but he also feels like he's a little bit more moldable. And I've also, with Andrew Wiggins, I've at least seen what it looks like for him to be on a championship winning team and how he
Harrison Barnes was on one.
Yeah, but he didn't contribute to that.
Yeah, Wiggins was the second best player on a team that won a championship.
Yeah.
So I posted this on my Twitter last night, and I did say the names.
Yeah.
So if you follow me, you probably already saw this one coming. Andrew Wiggins, 78% said they would take Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
21% said they would take.
Well, and Warrior fans would be the ones to ask because they've seen them both at pretty much the same point in their career at this point. And I think that Andrew Wiggins showed that Harrison, no one really likes to talk about it because he's a really great guy, but Harrison Barnes might have had the worst finals of anybody in recent NBA history.
No,
what he did in that finals.
Yeah, that's why Warrior fans will always say anybody besides Harrison.
He kind of threw the series a little bit.
There were some other factors at play there, like
But
Draymond getting
he
suspended.
got ice cold. Well, here's the thing, though.
Y'all are gonna make me
But
get specific.
how is this any different than Kevin Huerter last playoffs?
In terms of it,
you cannot buy a bucket
for Harris or for Wiggins. You're talking about? Or
No, I'm saying for Harrison Barnes
Uh-huh.
versus Kevin Huerter in this past playoff series. Harrison Barnes in those finals, 2016 finals, versus Kevin Huerter last playoff season.
Let me get the specifics of how poorly Harrison played in that finals, but it was more just the fact that Harrison Barnes literally just was missing everything under the sun.
Was it that Harrison took more shots than Huerter did potentially?
I doubt that.
Which I don't even think is true, but
So in that 7-game series, I'm just looking at the last. We'll look at the 3 games that the Warriors lost because, of course, they were up 3-1 in that series and then lost games 5, 6, and 7.
You got to do the whole series. You got to do both series. You got to do.
But they were up. Like, I'm not going to do when they were winning. Like, what I'm saying is the reason they lost those 3 games was because Harrison Barnes in those 3 games averaged 5 points on 15% from the field on 10 attempts per game.
Okay, now do Kevin Huerter
and
in the
20%.
Do Kevin Huerter
on
in the losses
5%
last. Do Kevin Huerter
on
in the,
5 threes per game. And it's going to take me a second to pull up Kevin Huerter, but
no. We got time.
Okay, I was like, if we got the time, then we got the time.
I'm surprised that more people with $7 million a year. I'm just surprised that so many people assume that Andrew Wiggins, you're still giving Andrew Wiggins this benefit of the doubt. $7 million worth of a benefit of the doubt. When we've seen everybody feels like this random 2022 season from Andrew Wiggins is what he was going to be now. And everyone's, he doesn't have to be the number 1 option. So now he's going to do this. Well, he is. What is he, number 2? I mean, Clay is not who he once was. You need Andrew Wiggins.
Couldn't that be the problem, though, is more just Wiggins didn't sign up to be the second best player? Kind of like Harrison Barnes a little bit.
That might be fair.
That same argument.
That might be fair.
That, Wiggins was kind of always meant to be the tertiary option, and now he's kind of being asked to be the second option, and he's not that guy. Whether or not he should be or not is probably a different conversation, but he's never been that guy. I thought last year in the playoffs, after he had shown his real worth on that championship team, I thought he was huge for the Warriors to beat the Kings in that. Frankly, I don't think the Warriors win that Kings series without Andrew Wiggins. Like, he had came back from missing the entirety of the second half of the season previous, or from that season. Like, he had missed 40 to 50 games in a row, and then just comes from game 1 of the playoffs and I believe he averaged 16 a game in that series and was just a good slump buster for Golden State. I just think that what I've seen from Andrew Wiggins, I just have a whole lot more faith in that on a random night he would show up when you need it. And now we're talking marginally. I have more faith in him than Harrison, but I just think the proof is in the pudding that he showed up a couple more times than what Harrison has. And he's still 3 years younger also. Like, he's still a little bit more
$7
moldable.
million more expensive.
Yeah. But that's what you're paying for that extra 3 years of youth. Like, Harrison was making $20+ million a year 3 years ago as well.
Plus,
and so,
Plus it's Golden State. And some of the best analysis I've ever heard is Wiggins only worked as well because Golden State was the only team that could pay him $30 million a year and still put a championship team around him because how willing they were to go into the luxury tax.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I have the numbers if you want to compare.
I have
Kevin
the Huerter
Huerter
numbers too.
Okay, let's hear it.
The last 4 games, since we did 3 with HB, the last 4 games of the series, which were Kevin's 4 worst games, 7.5 points, 29% from the field on 8.5 shots, and 26% from 3. So definitely, nothing great, but still, I would say better than what Harrison did.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I thought somebody would take HB.
Nope.
I might have if I hadn't known the names of the players. Like, Wiggins is such an interesting case study of like NBA expectations and player evaluation, but I still can't get out of my head he was the second best player on a team that won a championship.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
I just can't see Harrison doing that.
Okay. Does that still work with Jordan Poole then? You want Jordan Poole?
No, because Jordan Poole Jordan Poole's the second best player on the worst team in the Eastern
Jordan
Conference.
Poole, but in 2022, Jordan Poole was the third option on the championship team.
He was
debatable.
It's
that's
not
also
debatable.
a very, very specific situation. The Warriors
Andrew
almost.
Wiggins was. That is the only time we've seen Andrew Wiggins. He was an all-star and he balled.
I just think if Andrew Wiggins were on a team by himself, he would probably put up inefficient but crazy stats. Not crazy stats, but he would be like 18 to 20 a game.
We've already seen that. That was the last year in Minnesota after Jimmy had left and they had like Covington and Saric in them. Like, it was not pretty.
And it wasn't pretty when Harrison was on his own team either. Like, it was really gross when he was the best player in Dallas. He looked like a guy that he just wasn't supposed to be. But, I mean, I'm not going to argue either of these guys have lived up to their potential or what they could be with their skill set, even here today. I think both of those guys have a problem with the mentality that they approach a basketball game with. But I would still say Andrew Wiggins skill set wise has the more appealing skill set.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But that's just
Yeah. It's all just
If you think that Andrew Wiggins' ceiling is worth the $7 million, that's the end of the conversation.
Yeah.
Both of them are underproducing.
For sure. That's
And
undeniable.
Harrison got a 30 burger.
That's the thing. But again, I could use that against him as well. He's got a 30 burger and he's back to 12 points per game.
You know
so what does that tell you about his other performance?
You know what? We got to get to a break. Yeah. I think I'm starting to see where I'm going to go at 115 for my dog. Now, you talk about going out on a limb.
Yeah. Yeah. He could be in the doghouse.
27-point first half tonight for Harrison Barnes.
Got to get to a break. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Winter is coming. I know you know that, but are you prepared to keep your family warm all season long? At American Energy Heating and Air, their goal is to exceed your expectations of the heating and air industry by valuing the customer experience and making your home comfort system as efficient as possible for the most value. So book your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. Prevent dangerous gas leaks. Extend the life of that furnace and save on your energy bills. And here's the guarantee. This isn't a sales call. They're not getting in the door so they can try to sell you a bunch of stuff. No, they're just going to do what they say they're going to do. Call today to schedule an appointment at 916-520-9990 or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Get your $49 furnace tune-up and safety inspection today. 916-520-9990. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. A little bit more than halfway through our 13th show on the 13th. Talking all things Kings. Thank you again to Emil Fergoso for stopping by and talking Niners after that beatdown of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Niner gang is very excited about that. Brock Purdy is back. Chase Young hit the gritty, and he was in that thing too. He was in that thing. And what is it called? The squabble, what all the players are doing now. Do it. And now we have Emil doing it in the background. Yeah, that's better than I thought it would out of you, Emil. I got to be completely honest. Maybe we'll get some of that sound as well, because that CJ Stroud dance that he's been doing since he was at Ohio State, and everybody is doing it now. So good times for the Niners and what they got going on as we talk Kings and get you ready for Kings and Cavaliers. And we compared two players, and basically neither guy had my back because it was my fault. I accidentally told them the comparisons before I said player A and player B, so they could not look at it objectively, but I compared player A and player B. One was Wiggins and one was Harrison Barnes. Their stats are pretty much the same. Wiggins is 3 years younger, but also makes $7 million more. And Kyle and Chris both said they would take Andrew Wiggins. But Walter from Stockton, the 209, says, I'm taking player B, Harrison Barnes. So shout out to Walter from Stockton. I knew somebody would take Harrison. Thank you, Walter. And as we get ready for our dog segment at 1:15, maybe Harrison will make another appearance.
I don't like that.
Time to preview the Cavs. And we talked to them about them a little bit, Chris, as we continue to go down. So they've lost to Oklahoma City Thunder twice, and they beat Golden State twice. So kind of a confusing team a little bit, right? This whole Styles make fights things. Why don't you break down what you've seen from the Cavs?
Yeah, I mean, it's really strange to kind of get a read on them. And yeah, if you're looking at from the Kings perspective, the fact that the Kings beat OKC without De'Aaron Fox, I don't want to call it easy fashion, but it wasn't necessarily a game that, went all the way down to the wire and, the Kings barely squeaked by. So the fact that the Cavs have lost to that team twice probably makes you feel a little bit better, but then you see that they also beat Golden State twice, who the Kings obviously have lost twice to, and it makes you wonder, okay, does that mean that Cleveland is a better team than Golden State? Is that just, again, Styles make fights kind of thing? So you can't really get a good read on that, but just looking at the raw numbers, they're 23rd in points per game right now, 24th in offensive rating, one behind Sacramento, 11th in defensive rating. So they're definitely going to try and make it a slower paced game. And they're not going to win off of, putting up 120 or anything like that. Those guys are going to lean heavily on their two big men. They're going to make life difficult for the other team, and they're going to make you live at the perimeter as well. They are 10th in free throw attempts. That's going to kind of lend itself more through Donovan Mitchell, who gets to the line a ton. Look out for Sabonis to get into foul trouble tonight. That's going to be a big key for the Kings, is keeping him out of foul trouble and also just keeping big bodies fresh, because when you got Allen and Mobley, you don't want to throw Sasha out there. You don't want to, we don't have Trey Lyles.
Return of JaVale tonight?
Maybe return of JaVale with the Twin Towers that Cleveland presents. It's going to be, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the Kings are going to match up with this team, because like you've been saying all day, they're long, but they're also quick. So it's not really like they're, a long physical team, kind of like the Lakers. They're a little bit more of a up and down team and more so of a vertical team, actually. And just a really tough matchup to get your offense going. And, frankly, the Kings have really struggled to get their offense going. So on a night like tonight, you just hope that the shots are falling and, the Kings don't put up 85 points or something scary like that. The big guy that, of course, you need to be worried about is Donovan Mitchell, 5th in the NBA right now in scoring points per game, 3rd in steals per game. He's 9th right now amongst NBA starters in usage percentage. So the dude is going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Like, as much as De'Aaron Fox has the ball in his hands for Sacramento, that's the kind of uses that Donovan Mitchell has, especially, as I like to mention, in that fourth quarter. That dude he's just got the ball in his hands nonstop. He's got 23 total points in the clutch this year. That's 9th in the NBA, 4th in clutch attempts. So if this game does get close, I'm telling you, the ball does not leave that man's hand. So you have to make sure that you're locking him up. And at that point, you can't get him going either. You don't want Donovan Mitchell entering that fourth quarter with 30 points or something like that, because once he sees the ball go in, that's when he's dangerous down the stretch. A lot of the times he can shoot you out of games if you're Cleveland. Like, he takes a ton of attempts when the game is close, and he pulls. He just pulls. It's not always the best shots. It's a lot of isolation ball as well. They're towards the bottom of the league in assists. So it's a lot of ISO ball, a lot of Donovan Mitchell, and the Kings just have to do a good job of getting them out of their comfort zone. Make them get other people. It's okay if I would love to see, I wouldn't love to, but if it's Darius Garland who goes off tonight instead of Donovan Mitchell, I can live with that. He's struggled since he came back from injury. If Max Strus ends up having a crazy night, or Karis LeVert ends up having a crazy night, I can live with that. But just make them go to their second option. Don't let Donovan Mitchell do exactly what Donovan Mitchell wants to do, especially if De'Aaron's not going tonight.
Do you worry, just going back to the rotation and the distribution of minutes, do you worry about not necessarily the depth of the team, but where Mike Brown feels comfortable going? Because I'm looking. So Karis LeVert is essentially their Malik Monk.
Yes.
Is how I would
Yeah, for
describe
sure.
it, right? So when Karis LeVert comes in and you're looking around and say, okay, and the way things kind of rotate, the bench hasn't been the team is deep, but the rotations haven't been very deep, right? Yeah. Sasha got a couple looks. He hasn't really been playing. JaVale hasn't been playing. Alex Len is getting back to getting looks. So do you worry at all about the lack of rotation compared to some of these other teams that seem like they're more willing? I mean, OKC, yeah, the Kings got the win, but OKC, I mean, Lou Dort was taking, it felt like huge breaks, and like they were able to run out other guys. Do you worry about the current rotation and how short it seems to be? I mean, Chris Duarte's barely getting time. Kobe Jones hasn't played, right? I mean, you just got to get through and you got to get W's, but is it sustainable to only run out, 7 guys, 8 guys?
That definitely wasn't part of the plan for sure. I mean, I think the plan was to have ultimate depth and have it be so Chris Duarte can fill in and play 20 minutes and have your shooting guard rotation be super even between the guys. Yeah, I definitely think that's the biggest thing that kind of hasn't gone to plan so far is the Kings were expecting Sasha to kind of come in and have instant impact. They expected JaVale McGee to lock down that backup center spot and to have Alex Len as kind of the backup break in case of emergency. But we've seen that the Kings early so far in this season have had to kind of go away from those things. You know, Sasha already got a DNP CD and then didn't check in until late third quarter in that OKC game. JaVale hasn't seen the floor in the last 2 games. And so, I think that's probably the most, one of the top most disappointing things from this King season so far is I think they were really relying, we're definitely relying on depending on that depth. And they just really haven't been able to do that and feel comfortable about it. They're still throwing Duarte out there sparingly, trying to see if he can kind of turn the ship around. But I just don't think that they've gotten exactly what they would have wanted from guys like Duarte, from guys like Sasha, and from guys like JaVale, and frankly also Davion Mitchell as well until recently. I just don't think that bench unit has quite been the exact pop that they were hoping for. Thankfully, Malik Monk has kind of really lifted the load there on the bench.
Well, and the thing about Sasha is at least you have a calling card with Sasha. Yeah. He's going to shoot the ball. And you're going to hope that it goes in, and you're hopefully going to get 1 or 2 from him like you've seen in the past. The thing about Duarte is, what is it exactly are we asking you to do? Right. The one thing that we're asking to defend. I mean, you have Keon Ellis. You have Keon Ellis who can defend that kind of longer guard, wing type player. And then you still have Davion for a night like tonight. It's going to be a lot of Davion. And Colby Jones, I don't think we were ever necessarily expecting to see a lot of. When we did see him more, we thought, oh, is this going to be a thing? And then it turns out it's not. At least not right now.
No,
it's not going to be a thing. So it's not that they don't have depth. It's about when Mike Brown gets the sense of a game, the depth within the game, the rotations do not seem to be that deep.
Yeah, exactly. And I also wonder, when De'Aaron comes back, are things going to, for whatever reason, become shuffled again? Like, will people make more sense playing with or off of De'Aaron Fox than what they did when he doesn't play? Like, does Sasha make a little bit more sense if he's playing with De'Aaron? And then, what about Trey Lyles, a guy who we just haven't seen so far this season and still don't know his return date? Like, what's that going to look like when he gets inserted into the lineup? So, there's definitely still a lot of questions when it comes to the Kings bench and their depth in general, for sure. And it's still early, and part of the early season is everybody's figuring out the rotations. I think even Steve Kerr talked about yesterday, even after they started off 6-2, eventually everybody kind of goes through a slide to where it's like, all right, I think we need to kind of look to readjust things, and maybe what worked initially, people have kind of figured out how to stop, and everybody's kind of going through a mini readjustment period right now.
Yeah. So, we'll see who cracks the rotation tonight as we continue to monitor whether De'Aaron Fox is going to play, right? So what does that say to Keon Ellis if that does happen? So I think that we will get an answer kind of soon, or they're going to push it up right into before game time.
I would guess we're going to get it right before game time, because when Mike Brown made the switch to Keon Ellis, I'm telling you, I was in the pregame press conference. Mike Brown was asked directly about Keon Ellis, more so about, hey, Keon played so well last game. Are you going to think about, enhancing his role today? Mike Brown gave some beautiful answer, didn't mention once, not even like a little like wink of, oh yeah, I definitely got something different for Keon. Nothing, just straight faced it, talked about Keon, how great he played, then was asked directly any changes to the starting lineup and kind of finessed his way out of it and said, oh, I told y'all last time and, they got me for it. So I'm going to keep that one close to the vest. And then we didn't find out until starting lineups were announced about half hour before the game that Keon would enter the starting lineup. So I would guess similar situation where pregame press conference, Mike Brown's probably going to be coy and say, oh, Foxy practiced, he looked good, but still don't know. We'll have to, send him out for pregame warm-up and see how he feels after. And then I'm sure we find out about 20 minutes, a little bit of gamesmanship, for sure. You want Cleveland preparing for both guys, but I would suspect that we don't find out until as late as possible.
Got to get to a break. My question is, do opponents matter? Are we having this conversation about De'Aaron Fox returning if there wasn't another superstar point guard on the other end? If they're playing the Blazers, are we having this conversation, right? I think that a coach will tell you, no, it doesn't matter. Do you believe him? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
For 35 years, TruckSmart has been your local leader in truck accessories. Find racks, toolboxes, and lighting for your work truck, and trailer hitches, side steps, and bed covers for recreation. They have shells for work or play, and offer Rhino lining, the best bed protection in the business. You like overlanding? TruckSmart has rooftop tents, recovery gear, and heavy-duty bumpers. Trust your ride to their skilled installers and expert sales staff at the Rockland and Auburn locations. TruckSmart. Your truck's gonna love them. TruckSmart.com.
At Ashton and Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Guys, your testosterone level can impact your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Book your testosterone level check at Revive Men's Health, Sacramento. They're the local experts with guaranteed treatment for low T and ED. There are no lab fees, and all your tests are included when you start treatment. And many patients find Revive more affordable than their insurance deductibles and copays. Book your testosterone level check today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m., 13th official show. Thank you for rocking with us. If you've been rocking with us, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Is there a cutoff for saying, hope you had a good weekend? Or, at this point now, it's 12:30.
I would hope Tuesday. At Tuesday, if you say hope you had a good weekend, it's like,
yeah,
that's like 2 days.
Monday at like 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
If Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are on your TV, don't say hope you had a good weekend.
Hope you had a great weekend. Yeah, we hope you did. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. From the 530, as we're talking Kings, talked a little bit of Niners earlier. Thank you to Emil Fergoso, Sactown Sports 49ers reporter. Follow him on Twitter. Great follow as well. From the 530, as we talk Kings, after seeing McGee so far, would Dwight Howard have been a better signing?
No, absolutely not. Next question. No, I mean, JaVale is at least provides, like, Dwight Howard's like 6'9", and hasn't played in, I think, 3 years. I don't think he's played since the season after the bubble, if I'm not mistaken. It might have even been the bubble season was his last. No, absolutely not. I think JaVale is still, even if he doesn't play, I think his veteran leadership is something that's needed. I think his voice is definitely something that's needed. And I think it's kind of more about the off the floor things with JaVale right now that are more important than what he's producing on the floor. And even on the floor, he can still give you some minutes. I think we've just seen that Alex Len brings you pretty much what JaVale brings, but without the, one or two head scratching plays that JaVale just has baked into his game. So I don't think JaVale's played horribly. I just think that there's been, when the team has been found the struggles that they found recently, I just don't think they can afford the kind of variable that JaVale brings.
Yeah. And, a lot of people will go back and forth about everybody thinks they're GM. That's why fantasy is so fun. And I like to think about when it comes to rotations, when it comes to signings. I'm not saying every front office person and every coach is a genius and never makes the wrong decisions. That's just not correct. But I will say this. The fact that Dwight Howard isn't on another roster answers that question for me.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
You should never be the team that's signing somebody that nobody else wants to sign.
If Dwight was on the reason this is a question is because we don't know, because Dwight's not on another team.
Right.
If JaVale McGee didn't go to the Kings, somebody else was going to sign JaVale McGee.
Right.
So that's why this question is pretty simple for me.
Yeah.
In this situation, look, it might not be one GM that's perfect or whatever, but if all 30 aren't touching this one guy,
right,
then
who's been available.
And to that point, the whole thing with the Warriors and that conversation went really well until about the very end, where I think Dwight, based on playing in, is it Taiwan that he's been playing in? I think Dwight has a little bit too much dip on his chip, thinking that all went well until I think the very end, where it was a conversation about what his role would be. Right. So you have a JaVale McGee who came out playing. We thought it was it was too much JaVale.
Mm-hmm.
Now JaVale isn't playing at all. And JaVale, you see him on the sidelines. You see him on the bench. He is a team player, 3-time champ. He understands all of that.
Yeah.
I don't know, to your point about off the court, I don't know if Dwight was willing to just chill. I think Dwight thinks
I would say not.
He's got way more left in the tank than he actually does. And that is that might be as much of the reason is why nobody wanted him as his actual ability on the court. It's, hey, man, this doesn't match, but you think it is. Keep chilling in Taiwan.
Yeah, I think it's the same story with, if you want to say, DeMarcus Cousins too, where it's like, talent-wise, I'm sure if you gave DeMarcus 15 to 20 minutes, he could probably give you 12 points and 6 or 7 rebounds.
With the Nuggets, he did that with the Nuggets.
Yeah, with the Nuggets, he did
it
it with the Bucks. He's shown ability to still have ability for sure, but the problem is it's the juice ain't worth the squeeze. It's not worth the headache. It's not worth the question of, again, even now it's still the Tim Tebow thing where if DeMarcus Cousins or Dwight Howard's on your bench, the most popular guy is always the backup quarterback, and people are always going to say, should they give? It's just, even DeMarcus and Dwight will bring up the conversation of, I feel like I should be playing more. And I don't think JaVale is having that conversation with Mike Brown. I think that it's just a veteran guy who understands what his role is. And frankly, there's a couple guys out there who might be more talented, but don't accept the role. And accepting the role is first and foremost, like you laid out with the Warriors situation. Accepting the role is first and foremost. I can, it's the NBA. I can find tons of 7-footers who can fill a specific thing for me.
Yeah.
And there's tons of guys with talent. I want someone who's going to buy in.
Yes, exactly. And we're bringing you on. If we're bringing on a veteran, we want you to have this. Part of it should be your veteran leadership. And if you don't have that, then what are we even talking about here?
Yeah.
So thank you for the text in 530. Keep them coming. If you want to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140. But I don't think anybody is clamoring for Dwight Howard, and he's not in the league right now. So good one. Good conversation to have. Now, let's talk about De'Aaron Fox and the report from Shams in terms of whether he will, play tonight. And my question to you is, does anything, I know what they're going to say when I'll be in the building tonight.
Yes, sir.
And you will too,
Yes,
when
sir.
they say, okay, it doesn't matter. You too, Kyle?
Yeah.
We'll see you. We'll see you in there.
I finally get to go to a game.
There you go. We'll see you in there. So when they say, oh, it doesn't matter, the whoever we're going up against doesn't matter. If they were playing the Jazz or the Spurs or the Blazers, do you think De'Aaron plays tonight?
Yeah, I really don't think that opponent matters.
Okay.
I really
You
don't.
believe them.
Yeah, I think if anything, like if they were going to be in any rush to get De'Aaron back, they probably would have inserted him when the Kings were on the losing streak. I don't think it makes.
But it's been a weekend now.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that I don't think the weekend is what turned him into being playable. I think that he would have played through it regardless. I feel like situation matters more than specific opponent. Like I don't think that De'Aaron going against or the Kings feeling like they need De'Aaron against Cleveland more so than the Lakers, or the challenge that Cleveland presents more so than the Lakers when it comes to their guards, plays really any impact in it at all. I feel like if anything, it's like, I might want to play him against a worse team, if that makes sense. I would like him to come back against a easier opponent, an Austin Reeves and a D'Angelo Russell instead of Garland and Mitchell, because I'd like to ease him into it, or have him, be in a situation where maybe he could be inserted and then have a 30-point night because he's going against easier competition. So I don't really believe that the competition is playing really any factor into this decision. Because again, I think if it were, he probably would have really wanted to play in Houston, and he probably would have really wanted to check in against the Blazers, especially watching his team struggle against those guys. So no, I think De'Aaron Fox is coming back exactly when he needed to come back, because now we're 2 weeks and some change removed from the injury. That sounds a little bit better for an ankle twist, and it was a pretty severe ankle twist at that, so I'm okay with him coming back tonight, and I don't think the fact that it's the Cavs really matters at all.
Well, I do.
That's fair.
And I love to believe in my mind that if it were the Spurs or somebody like that, because next up you have the Lakers, and we don't know if LeBron will play or not. I think also a part of this is, to your point from a couple segments ago about guys getting back into the swing of things, much easier to do. I know they're just a couple hours away in SoCal, but much easier to do at home. I think bring it in, have them cheer for you, have all that. I would much rather have De'Aaron come back and make his return at home than on the road. So maybe you'll give me that instead of the opponent.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, at home, yeah, you've got all the proper training, you got all the proper eyes on you and all that. And, on the road, it's just a little bit more difficult to kind of get those things in line. And so, yeah, definitely. I would say that might play a little bit more of a factor into it than anything.
All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, fun segment coming up for you. Best dunk. Get your thoughts, get your texts, get your calls in for the best dunk. We got that audio to relive the best dunks from this season. We will also talk about the Monk Yard Dog, the new king of the fourth, Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. It makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults.
Nothing is everything.
Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Shop Black Friday every day and get the best new deals all month long, only at Lowe's. Right now, shop the lowest prices of the year on select major appliances and save an extra $100 for every $800 you spend on select major appliances. And get up to 45% off select tools and accessories, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/15. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
On December 9th, witness a mind-bending show like no other with The Clairvoyants Holiday Spectacular at Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville, featuring mind-reading, magic tricks, and illusions with a special appearance from Mr. Coney Handini, the world's first mind-reading dog. Get your tickets now to see The Clairvoyants live. Only at
Go Country Casino Resort.
Okay, 21 or older.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Talking all things Kings, Niners, Kings. Facing the Cavs tonight. Will De'Aaron Fox play? Got to keep tuning in to find out. We are on the edge of our seats trying to figure that out. Chris has laid out that we probably won't know till game time. Will probably be a game time decision. So Keon Ellis is waiting. Davion Mitchell is waiting, right? The Cavs are waiting. We're waiting. What is your guess? How about that, Chris? What's your guess?
My guess is there's a chance he plays tonight. If I had to put a percentage, I'd probably say there's a 1 in 3 chance, and there's nothing really going off of, there's no logic to that. I would just say the fact that this time, the fact that Shams is reporting that De'Aaron might play the fact that he's reporting that with Sam Amick that he might play makes me feel a little bit better because Sam is incredibly plugged into this organization. And so something tells me that is probably properly sourced. We saw the first time Shams just kind of went out there and said that De'Aaron might play as soon as Friday. And that was the Houston game. What was that, a week ago or 2 weeks ago? So that didn't really make much sense. I think tonight I would say there's a 33%. And then on Wednesday, I feel like there's probably like an 80% chance he plays.
Yeah, I would say if he's out and about doing what he's doing, full participant, I just think you'd rather have him play than on the – and I know it's just Los Angeles, but I think there's a good chance he plays tonight. I think he's a good chance he plays tonight, and we see a battle of the point guards, and you can sign me up for that every single
It also doesn't
day.
have to be full workload for De'Aaron either. It doesn't have to be just because he's playing, he's going out there for 35 minutes.
He better not.
It could definitely be a 20, 25-minute performance from De'Aaron regardless.
Yeah, he better not. And there's another battle going on within the Kings team themselves, and it is a battle for the best dunk of the season.
Ooh.
So we have a bunch of clips, very fun, bunch of clips from the different dunks. So we want the audience to chime in as well, and we will pick the winner and the winner so far, because it's not over yet. So here is Keegan and De'Aaron kind of discussing the bet that they have going on for best dunk of the season.
Me and Fox, we kind of have this little thing, and who can get dunk of the year this year. So I feel like I have it so far. But no, it's just being aggressive as possible towards the basket. And if I get fouled, I get fouled.
So
it's only between those two.
Right.
As well.
So
it's not a team-wide competition between those two.
Yes. Inside those two individuals, but then
they're running their own race.
Right. And the reason they have to run their own race is because there's nobody. And I mean, nobody doing what Malik Monk did. And this was in game 1 to Chris Dunn, who I don't know if he's played
I don't think we've seen him
since this game.
Here's a Fox steal. Got a breakaway coming up for Sacramento. Chased by Dunn. Drops it to Monk. Hammer time thrown down by Malik Monk.
Yeah.
That's as good as it gets for Sacramento
Yes,
in
it is,
transition. Fox with the steal. His former Wildcat collegiate teammate at the University of Kentucky, Malik Monk, with a big-time hammer to make it 102-82. Biggest lead of the ballgame.
Wow.
The
I
big
love that.
time
What a
hammer.
call. What a call from
Yeah, that was a great call. Draper had a great call as well.
yeah.
So 2 great calls from that. So that's the dunk. I mean, that's the dunk.
That's the dunk of the year.
Forget the Kings. That's the dunk of the year. Period. In the NBA. Right?
That's pretty close.
Yeah.
I don't even know what else is out there.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think so. I think it might be. I saw Anthony Edwards had a pretty nice one last night on Saric, but I would still probably have to give it to Malik because Malik's was a true body to body. It was one of those where everyone saw it coming a mile away, and he executed it. So I still got to give the nod to Malik.
You know, it's good when you can hear the dunk sound in the background of the radio call.
Right.
Also, the crowd in Utah is like,
yes.
Okay. We might have gotten
Anthony Edwards just had he just skywalks. He had that ridiculous windmill.
Yeah.
But that wasn't a dunk on someone. I don't think you'd count it for dunk of the year.
No,
but you could. You could. And I'm sure
definitely,
Anthony Edwards will have a ton more because that guy. And by the way, we did this. My Timberwolves pick that I think you laughed at me.
I did. No, I definitely did not. I have receipts. My friend asked me the day before the NBA season start, give me your Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, NBA champions. I put the Denver Nuggets against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a good pick, man.
I really like, especially
Big
come
Big
playoff
cat
time.
guy.
I just think matchup wise, they're a nightmare.
Yeah, they're
I don't
starting
think
to
there's
figure
a
it
lot
out.
of teams that can match up with them.
Starting to figure out. Look, and as much as people get annoyed with Karl Anthony Towns, that guy can play some basketball.
It's almost like Rudy Gobert still knows how to play defense.
He does.
Right?
He does until you get him on the island. Right.
Number 1 defensive rating in the league.
There you go. So as we continue to go through these other dunks, this is Domas and Keegan both had big dunks on Friday. Here's that sound.
Sabonis now works the left elbow. Gives to Herter. Back to Sabonis. Going strong for the left hand rip. Boy, 2 times we've seen a nice give and go between Sabonis and Herter. This time it was Herter with the return pass for the assist and Sabonis with the bucket.
I'm not gonna lie, that's not G-Man's best call. I thought he was gonna get a little bit more up for that.
Gonzaga on Gonzaga crime, by the way.
You hate to see
That's what Kyle Draper said on his call.
Yeah, let's hear the Keegan Murray call.
Sabonis gives to Herter. Herter, 1 dribble, left wing to Barnes, back to Sabonis, top of the foul circle. Drops to Herter. Throws a crazy pass to the right wing, but saved from going out of bounds by Keegan. Keegan off the drive to the basket with a rip with the right hand. He threw that one down, and people popped right out of their seats on their feet. Keegan has 10. Kings lead 51-42.
You know, for me, as a guy who loves a good bag and getting deeper into your bag, the dunk was nice. The dunk was really nice. But to me, what had me going was that little shimmy stutter step that he did, that Keegan did, the jab, shimmy step before, without even dribbling at all, and just caught.
Yeah, Giddy. It was Giddy.
Caught Giddy on the back. Giddy is, skipping around somewhere, and then he just yams on Chet. So
Chet had a long night.
Chet had a long night. We're sorry, Chet.
Yeah.
It looked like
I love you, Chet.
He was
but
complaining a lot.
Yeah, he was.
I think he felt like. I think they all felt that. All the Thunder felt like they were getting hacked a lot.
Yeah,
and
shout out physicality.
It's a fine line between that physicality and fouling too much. And on that specific night, the Kings walked that line perfectly.
Yeah,
so
of course. Yeah, Pop always talks about it. It's like it's either Pop or Rick Carlisle, where you start off the game incredibly physically, or some historically great coach. I think it might have even been Jerry Sloan. I'm just listing them all off.
One of them.
Who pick your favorite one?
Doc Rivers.
Yeah, why not? Probably not him. Said that if you start the game physically, it's just human nature for referees to kind of move the bar. If you start playing incredibly physically and then you tone it down just a smidge, while that might be a foul in tomorrow's game, since you already came out so aggressively, just eye test wise, referees are always going to say, we saw them play more physical and let you get away with it earlier. And so that's something that the Kings are going to have to do tonight as well with those 2 big guys. I really think they're going to have to set the tone physically, regardless of whether De'Aaron Fox plays or not.
Yeah, rate of play. And when you have a physical game like that, you're basically just calling the refs bluffs because you have to keep the game going. And to me, it reminds me of the Legion of Boom in Seattle. If it's PI on every play,
exactly.
I'm daring you, referee, to not throw a flag on every play.
And the most important play, too. Exactly. Because that's really what you're doing it for. You're doing it so that when push comes to shove, you can push and shove. And I think, the Kings would definitely be smart, I think, to make tonight another physical matchup with this team.
So Keegan, after that ridiculous dunk, had some things to say because I guess De'Aaron Fox had some things to say and said that dunk didn't count for their competition because it wasn't body to body. Here he is.
I know you have that, that kind of wager with Fox about best dunks. I'm just curious if the feedback from that one might think that one might be in the lead at all?
Well, I asked him about it, and he said it wasn't body to body. So I don't know if he's not classifying that as a good dunk or not. But
Keegan cracks me up, man.
Well,
he's so funny,
right? And I was just there watching him. The facial expressions, it all matches.
Yeah.
It all matches.
Yeah.
But
maybe barely a smirk there.
Yes, a little smirk there. And De'Aaron, come on, man. Come on.
We can't move the goalposts here.
Yeah, that was. And I think that was body to body.
It was. It definitely was body. But Malik tried to say it too. He was like, check kind of slid through.
Right.
Nah, man. That's about as body to body as what you're going to get in today's NBA.
Now. Come on.
And it wasn't like JaVale, like LeBron really did scoot out of the way of JaVale's dunk. Like that's not body to body.
Yes.
Keegan, and then you got to give him credit for the jab step. Like you said, like the totality of the
whole
move.
thing. I will say this as we get to a break.
What you got, De'Aaron? Come on.
Dare I say the Malik Monk dunk was a layup, no pun intended, because of how it got dropped back to him.
Yeah.
There was no chance.
He had had no momentum. He was just a prisoner.
Right. So Malik took advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
Keegan created that.
Facts.
So in terms of a creation, manifestation.
Come on. We're Team Keegan.
I might go Keegan here.
I
might go Keegan here. Got to get to a break. When we get back, is there a new king of the fourth in Malik Monk and Keon Ellis? Should he stay in the starting lineup? That and more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
Gobble, gobble, folks. It's that time of year again when the leaves fall, and so do the prices at Elk Grove Kia. We're bringing you Thanksgiving early with deals that'll make your wallet say thanks. This fall, our lot is stuffed with the latest Kia models, and we've carved out incredible savings. Get your hands on a brand new Kia with Elk Grove Kia's award-winning reliability and service you can trust, unlike your auntie's dodgy broccoli casserole. Don't wait until the turkey's on the table. Come to Elk Grove Kia and feast on the best deals this fall. And don't worry if you have challenged credit. Our finance team has over 100 years of experience. They may or may not have even helped a pilgrim or two get qualified. So hurry on down to Elk Grove Kia, where the prices are falling faster than Uncle Bob falls asleep in front of the football game at Thanksgiving. It's the Thanksgiving sale going on now at Elk Grove Kia, located in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Or check us out online at elkgrovekia.com. Elk Grove Kia, where the only thing bigger than our savings is our gratitude for our amazing customers.
Elk Grove Kia.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is an entertainment experience like no other. We're the only place where you can play blackjack, then hop on an indoor car track. We're the only place with more than 2,000 of the hottest slots and a state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and a resort hotel to stay after you play. Is it any wonder we've been voted best over 100 times? We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Carmichael Dave here telling you something you already know. Your time is important, and that's why at American Energy Heating and Air, they make shopping for a furnace easy with their new online quoting tool. Just go to AmericanEnergyAir.com, get an instant quote today. That'll help you determine what system you need to get and provide the best pricing options as well from the comforts of your home. Here's the thing. Nobody's going to come to your home. Nobody will come to your home. That's convenience. Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be, or if you want, give them a call and talk through what your needs are. Call 916-520-9990 today, 916-520-9990, or go to AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports, take you up to 2 p.m. Thank you for joining us if you've been rocking with us. If you just joined us, thank you for joining. Hope you're enjoying your Monday. Let's get through some YouTube chat because we love our YouTube chats here as we talked about the best dunks of the season for the Kings so far. Caesar916 says Keegan bodied Chet. That's right, Caesar. Ooh. As we have De'Aaron Fox, who tried to tell Keegan that it wasn't a body-to-body dunk. So you have that. You have a couple other people. Let's see, Jesse Scotto, who's going to body Wemby. I don't know.
Malik's going to try. Malik is definitely going to try.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like guards especially look at big men like they're mountains. And It's like, I'm going to climb that.
Yeah.
I am going to climb that mountain one day.
I can get that done. The 209 says bring the house down, Kings fans. I think that's for all the Kings fans that are going to be at the game.
We never got our stamp. What are we putting for dunk of the year? Who holds the crown right now?
Well, if we're not counting Malik.
So let's try and keep track of this with the separate De'Aaron Keegan bet, and then we'll also do Kings wide. Who has?
But De'Aaron doesn't even have one yet.
He doesn't. No, so that's why Keegan's definitely winning that bet right now. I don't care what De'Aaron says. I don't care what Malik says.
Right.
Keegan is winning that bet right now.
Keegan is 1,000% winning.
He even got one in preseason, if I'm not mistaken, too.
And will De'Aaron have one tonight if he plays? Oh, he's got some
opportunity.
Jared Allen. You got Mobley.
Got a couple mountains. You got some Twin Peaks there.
Just stay on the court. We don't need to do all that yet.
Not yet.
Don't do all that.
I'm going to give it to Malik, though. I'm going to say Malik holds the crown right now.
Yes.
For best dunk.
I would agree.
It's going to be tough, too.
You guys said it's maybe the best dunk in the entire NBA this season.
Yeah.
The Malik one, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Thank you to the YouTube chat being a part of the conversation. And, of course, to the text line, call line 916-339-1140. The Monk Yard Dog, as we talk about Malik Monk, king of the clutch. I like that. I like that dog. That's a good one. That's a good one. Good job, Kyle.
Better than Nate's dog.
That's way better. That's very. It's not hard to be better than Nate's dog. I think Nate's just trolling us at this point because you talk about the king of the clutch. You talk about De'Aaron Fox. And De'Aaron Fox, who has not played, who may play tonight, as from a report from our guy, Sam Amick, who I just met last game, by the way. Nice guy. Does a great job when he is on Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. So be sure to tune in when he hops on as well. Sam, in cahoots with Shams, have both said that it's very possible that De'Aaron Fox plays tonight. And if not tonight, on Wednesday. And if not, the day after that.
Exactly. Which I don't quite know what the update is.
Right. The update is that we kind of don't have an update.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, that's not nothing. I think it's really something that those guys, especially Sam as well, because Sam's thrown in that as well, but I think Sam is more connected than just about anybody. But the fact that they don't have a direct answer, again, I'm telling you, it's a very real thing, and I love to hear it, that the Kings really don't have any leaks in their front office.
Good.
I think it's a great sign.
We continue. Yeah, I mean, that so many other teams, and we were just during the break talking about the Zion situation. I mean, the whole thing with the Kings, at the very least, they've always been a kind of a locked vault in terms of keeping things in-house.
Yeah,
and I think that's really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is really, really important? That's Malik Monk.
Come
and
on.
what he's been able to do for this team in the clutch without De'Aaron Fox. What are you thinking? Give us some of these numbers about Malik and how he's been the king of the clutch with De'Aaron Fox out.
Dude has been just out of this world ridiculous. On Wednesday in that Portland game, in the clutch situation, which I feel like it's, we haven't talked about the clutch minutes much this year. We became very accustomed to talking about clutch numbers last year. But for those who aren't familiar, the NBA defines clutch minutes as when the scoring margin is within 5 points in the final 5 minutes of the game. So it really is the most important, most crucial moments of the game. And in the last 5 minutes and overtime of that Wednesday game in Portland, Malik Monk had 11 points, 9 of 9 from the free throw line, and was a +6 in 7 minutes. Just incredible. Again, he really did do his De'Aaron Fox impression and has done it before in the past as well in a couple games. I think it was that Laker game, if I'm not mistaken. He really closed out that game.
Yeah.
So far in the clutch this season, Malik has had 4 different opportunities. 4 of their 8 games have come down to clutch situations. Malik's got 24 total points, which is tied for 7th. Second in points per game with 6. He's shooting 50% from the field, 40% from 3 in clutch situations, which is excellent. 12 of 12 from the free throw line, which you could maybe argue is the most important stat. In those gotta-have-it minutes, in those gotta-have-it moments, Malik, second in the NBA in free throw makes, 3rd in free throw attempts, and is 7th in total assist, 10th in plus-minus. And if I'm not mistaken, let me try and pull up the numbers here really quick. I believe he's also incredibly low when it comes to just total clutch minutes. So he's done all of those great things. He's in the top 10 in just about all of those figures. And even now he's not even on the first page right now of total minutes in the clutch that I'm finding. So he's done it in incredibly limited, in the 55th most minutes in the clutch. He has all of those numbers. So he's just been incredibly efficient in that time. And that's, of course, when the Kings have relied heavily on De'Aaron Fox in the past, specifically last year. So that's definitely a big part of the Kings still, again, keeping their head above water, is the fact that Malik Monk has been able to take a little bit of what De'Aaron Fox can do and replicate some of it. Now, the question is, can he continue to do that with while De'Aaron's out there? Because I said it last year, you can't just have one guy in the clutch that you go to. Now, of course, game winners, last minute of the game, totally, you can have your guys, your best players. Those are the guys you want to take shots, but you don't want to become too predictable in those last 5 minutes, because that's where you become a guy like Donovan Mitchell, who just is ISOing, and we all know he's going to get the ball. So if the Kings can have 2 different guys who are incredibly impactful in clutch minutes, that's huge. And I think the biggest number, again, is the fact that Malik has gotten to the line 12 times already in clutch situations. That's elite stuff.
Yeah, the tough part about this is, and those numbers all are outstanding for Malik, the tough part about this when De'Aaron Fox returns is that as a fan base, right? As a fan base, and I would say even as that team, does it still feel like to you when you can sit here and say, oh, well, we can't be so one-dimensional, but once you get to the 4th, you really only want De'Aaron taking a shot. If Malik takes a shot and misses, your first thought, and I'm not trying to speak for you, but I think most people's first thought is, well, De'Aaron may as well have shot that. And how do you balance that? Because there might be some of that also on the team, right? Feeling like, hey, if we're going to go down, let's go down by our best player not hitting the shots. Or you could have somebody else take shots and not go down.
Yeah.
So that is going to be a tango, if you will, in terms of how these teams, or how the Kings are able to massage that, because this would be, if they're in a close game tonight, right, you would be in that situation, because Malik has been, hey, I've been the guy, De'Aaron. That's where you might see some awkwardness early on in the game when things are free flowing. We're getting everybody, the vibes are right, the fire is going off, and De'Aaron Fox has returned. When everything at the beginning is going to be great. If it's a close game at the end and it's, hey, you want to go or I want to go, when you're walking into a store, right, and you both you and somebody else are kind of there at the same time, or someone's coming this one way and you're coming the other way, and you sorry, you go. Thank you for this dance, and you just walk away. That's why you don't say that. I say that sometimes. Thank you for this dance.
Made it 3 times more awkward.
Thank you for this dance. And then you just get out of here.
God, you're such a father.
I
already.
know, man. It just happens quick. That's what might happen towards the end of the game,
For sure.
where it's, hey,
Your
Darren,
turn, my turn.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
I've been the guy, but you're the guy. Or who's going to shoot? You're going to shoot.
Yeah.
So it could happen. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe the Kings blow them out and it's not a close game anyway. Right? So
made me think of the little Calvin Cambridge situation in Like Mike,
Right.
when he like loses his powers and they're just passing it back and forth. It's like,
you shoot it.
No, but you did it so well when I wasn't here.
Right.
I was only doing it because you weren't here. So here you go. And it's just a back and forth of those two. I hear what you're saying. I think there's definitely going to be some of that for sure. And I think sometimes Malik does have a little bit of that JaVale McGee thing where sometimes he does get a little bit outside of himself and he feels a little bit excited in those moments. And I think that's kind of the push-pull that they're going to have to try and find. And frankly, that's kind of the next step of Malik's development as well, is if he wants to be a guy on his next team or in his next contract, I should say, he's going to have to kind of eliminate those moments in the clutch because you can't. The one thing you cannot have in those clutch moments, you can get to the free throw line, you can hit all the big shots you want, but if you're turning the ball over or just can't be relied on by your coach to have the ball in those moments, that's when it becomes troublesome. And frankly, I mean, you're going to find yourself out of the rotation to close games. So it's probably not going to be a seamless fit, but I think more so the fact that this is somebody else getting confidence in those minutes as well, where this can still be De'Aaron's show, but Malik has the confidence knowing, hey, if this thing comes to me, there ain't no holdup. Like I'm going to attack this the same way he can. And if you're going to give me the open look, that's a mistake because I'm just as dangerous as that other guy. It's just going to be a matter of those two kind of figuring it out. But that's where you kind of hope that their off the floor chemistry kind of plays into a factor in kind of smoothing that out a little.
And I'm going to say something, I might be going too far here, but in terms of just his ability to get downhill, as we got to get to a break soon, he plays for the Kings, and on the Titans, there's a dude nicknamed King Henry. And when Malik Monk gets downhill, it honestly reminds me of a running back. It does. Not that he's just running into people, but he could be a finesse running back or a King Henry type, Derrick Henry running back. It's just unstoppable. It's unstoppable.
He's got so many things he can go to when he gets that half step towards the rim. He can either elevate, and we've seen like his finishing, how crafty he is in the air. He's just such a ridiculous athlete. He can finish on whatever side of the rim. We've seen him dump it off to Sabonis. I mean, I think he's capable of finding, as Mike Brown likes to call them, the spray threes, where he drives and then kicks. He's that's to me when he's at his scariest, is when he's going downhill. And like you said, it feels like he's Derrick Henry. It feels like the world is his oyster and he can just kind of pick and choose whatever he wants.
Yeah. So if there was a team that would be able to stop that, it would be the Cavs with the two big boys that they have on their front court, or in their front court. So we'll see if that happens. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we are talking about Keon Ellis and whether he should remain in the starting lineup. And yes, it's time. It's 1:15, and we keep our promises. It's time for your dog segment. So get your dogs lined up. Kyle, we're going to hear your dog. Chris, yours as well. You on the YouTube chat, text line, and call in as well. 916-339-1140. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
It's about that time. You hear it. Actually,
I was gonna say we're not supposed to play this.
What? No. Hold on. We're playing this for Friday's win.
Okay.
So we're playing this for Friday's win. So we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the rules are stipulating it's only after wins.
Yeah, we do our dog segment before games, no matter what.
Yeah.
But we only play a dog-focused song after the W. But technically, this is okay because they won on Friday.
So many rules.
Okay. There you go.
This is like Alan's rules to Sactown.
No. This is no.
Don't,
Chris. We were both. No, I'm not gonna go there.
Okay.
No, Chris and I, we both came up with these rules. Yeah. All right. Let's get them on the YouTube chat. Let's get them on the text line. Who is going to be your dog of the evening? And
just to clarify, we're picking our dogs for tonight.
Yes.
For tonight's game.
Yes,
this is not a recap of
well, if we can do that too quickly,
Gotcha.
My recap, I picked Keegan. I thought he'd be hotter from 3.
Sure.
But I did say Keegan would have 25 points, and
You
he had
were
24.
adamant. Yes.
He had 24. So I'm happy with my pick. Your pick's a bonus, right on the money.
Come on, near trip dub. What are we talking about?
Right on
17,
the money.
13, and 13 for Sabonis on Friday.
Wow.
But I think you could still argue that he wasn't the biggest dog of the day. I would say Kevin might have been the real runaway pick with that. So I think we had good solid picks, but we didn't knock it out the park. So the goal is to knock it out.
Didn't Nate pick JaVale McGee?
That was
Nate. I think Nate switched to Alex Len. Actually, funny enough.
Yeah. Which again,
hey, he played well.
He's taking chances.
He played well. Exactly.
He's taking chances, right? And we're gonna take some chances tonight. We're going to take some chances
today. Did Nate save that sound?
I don't know. Kyle, you want to go first? Your dog?
Well, my dog, since I'm going to my first game this year at Golden One Center, I'm going to take my favorite player on the Sacramento Kings. I'm going to go with Keegan
Murray.
There you go.
Yeah. I was looking at you.
You got to elongate the
Keegan. Murray. Okay, you got Keegan.
I got Keegan, dog. 25 points. Let's
All
go.
right. Manny Too Legit says Keegan, my dog. Manny's got Keegan. I'm not going Keegan. I went Keegan last time. Who are you going with?
Can you go first? I got to think.
Sure. So we have MD Knight, who also wants Murray as well. And I have something to say.
Oh, boy.
This is about going out on a limb. And if I'm wrong tomorrow, I will wear it like a jacket.
Wow, you're a big Jordan Ford guy, huh?
Well, no. No, I am. No, I'm not saying I'm not. It's not going to be my dog. My dog will be the Black Falcon, Harrison Barnes. I'm not saying it's going to be 27 and a half.
Okay.
But I'm going Harrison Barnes for my dog. And am I confident?
Okay.
We're going to see. But I think that dog is coming out. Harrison, you lost in the poll. You lost in my poll to Andrew Wiggins. And I think Harrison, who is a friend of the show and following along, is going to say, you know what? I'm going to prove some people wrong. Today, I'm expecting 17 from Harrison Barnes.
But the real question, how many minutes will he play?
Minutes don't matter. Not this time.
Nope.
17, and I'll give you this one. 17 and 4 rebounds.
You really wanted to pick.
I wanted to say
very, very specific.
17 and 4 rebounds. 17 and 4 and 2 assists for Harrison Barnes.
Can I tell you why that's a phenomenal pick?
Why?
Because last year, Harrison Barnes played exceptionally well against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm looking at his splits from last year. He averaged 20 points per game against Cleveland in 2 matchups. He was a total 11 for 17 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3, 13 of 18 from the line, and finished with 20 points in both of those matchups.
Wow.
So
See, I do my research.
Yeah, might have been, looking into your crystal ball and seeing something there. I like the pick for Harrison Barnes. And frankly, I mean, yeah, Cleveland really doesn't have many guys who can match up with the Kings 6'8", to be funny enough. I mean, the Kings usually are in the disadvantage in that sense where they're always going against a team that seems to have 4 or 5 guys who are 6'7" to 6'9" and play the wing. So the Kings might actually have the advantage there. I think Harrison's a phenomenal pick. I'm going to go with my dog for tonight. You know what? Let's stick with Kevin Huerter. I think it's going to be a two-way performance tonight from Kevin Huerter. I think he's going to have 20+. I think he's going to hit 4 threes. And I think he's going to play really good defense. Do I think it's going to be on Donovan Mitchell or Karis LeVert? I think he's going to play good defense on Donovan Mitchell. I really think Mike Brown's going to throw him out there.
And show up offensively. I looked at the numbers yesterday. Kevin's leading the team in deflections and deflections per game as well. Kevin kind of sneakily has been a really good, long, rangy defender for the Kings. He get rebounds too.
He just kind of struggles at the point of attack. He'll get blown by because he doesn't really have the physical gifts to stay in front of guys, but excuse me. Shows an ability, I think, to stay in front of guys with his length and just bother people and, again, get deflections, get his hand into passing lanes and things. So I'm going to go with Kevin Huerter tonight to be two-way Kevin Huerter.
Two-way Kevin Huerter. The Huerter Heater part 2.
Come on.
Okay, so we have Kevin Huerter for Chris. We have Harrison Barnes for myself. And Kyle, who did you have again?
Keegan Murray. Secondarily, Jordan Ford. He's going to be awesome in garbage time when they're up by 30.
209 on the text line. Walter from Stockton. My dog of the night is, and this is how you do it, Kyle. He goes Keegan with 5 dots, ... Murray. Good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff. So we got a lot for Keegan.
Ian on the YouTube chat. Alex Len.
Alex Len, okay. Jess Escoto saying it's going to be Davion, which it could be. I'm telling you, it could be Davion.
Definitely guarding Garland.
Right. He could shut those guys down and still be able to do some things offensively. So a lot of good picks tonight. Sabonis, we still need you to show up, even though you're nobody's dog tonight. It's just because we expect it from you. Sabonis is almost the easy pick.
Right
at this point,
unless he's slumping, it's kind of an easy pick to do him because again, we just kind of know that he's going to be heavily involved no matter what.
There you go. And speaking of Davion Mitchell, who is now coming off the bench after starting first couple games with De'Aaron Fox out, let's switch over to Keon Ellis, who in the last 2 games offensively hasn't necessarily been anything to write home about, but defensively he has been exactly what you could hope for. Steals, deflections, that Skywalker dunk. Are you keeping Keon Ellis in the starting lineup, and if so, why?
I think it's tough. I don't know if he needs to. I like him in the starting lineup when De'Aaron's not there. Obviously, he's not going to be in the starting lineup when Fox returns, but I don't necessarily want to see him just go back to DNPs. I think he's shown enough defensively to have some level of impact that makes me feel like he deserves to have some minutes out there. Now, the offense is going to kind of be the question. He shot terribly since entering the starting lineup.
He got one.
11%. He's shot 11% on 4.5 threes through his 2 starts. Shot 27% on 5.5 field goal attempts per game. Again, through these 2 games. So it hasn't looked good on offense, but I just think he's a guy who brings he's a tone setter. Like defensively, he's what he's going to bring every single night. And I think that's incredibly valuable, even if it's only going to be for 10 minutes or something. I think that the 10 minutes of great defense he brings really could impact the outcome of a game here or there. I think that he's a really special defender. His ability to get his hands on people who are driving the lane and getting his hand on the ball. He's different. Like he's just something that this Kings team really doesn't have. And I would love to see him kind of stay in the rotation. I don't know who the minutes are going to come at the expense of, but I would say that he's played well enough in these 2 games defensively to warrant a rotational spot right now.
Yeah, minutes are hard to come by.
They're 2-0 in this
2-0.
So
minutes are hard to come by, right? I think that having Davion and Keon Ellis is a little redundant.
Yeah.
Even though Davion has shot the ball much better than Keon. He's also been doing it more. He should.
Sure.
He should, right? So I can't see both of them getting a ton of minutes together. And we've already discussed how Chris Duarte just can't buy minutes right now. So, yeah, definitely a bit of a log jam a little bit, which is what we kind of felt would happen.
Yeah, for sure.
If Keon gets some opportunities, though, I think that the only way he's going to stay is if there's a specific role for him.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a guy tonight, a Shea Gilgeous, somebody like that we need to stick you on, which that could be. I mean, by the way, I walked by Shea during their taco bar, right, when we're walking back to the media section. I'll be honest, he did not look 6'6" to me.
Okay.
He didn't. I don't know, maybe he didn't have shoes on or something. He didn't look 6'6".
Is this an official report? Is this
I'm
sources?
I'm just saying. The only reason I say that is because I'm thinking, no, Keon, no wonder you locked him up.
Right.
No wonder you locked him up.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I think the interesting thing, is going to be where they kind of fall on him versus Davion. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, because I was looking at the 5-man lineup numbers, and there's a big difference. They've actually done really well in the Keon Ellis inserted into the starting lineup minutes. They're a +9 in net rating over 35 minutes, which is the third most used lineup. The other two are the other starting lineups, one with Fox and one with Davion. And the one with Davion, let me tell you, it's those numbers. I think they're a -16 net rating. That starting lineup specifically looks terrible with Davion in it, especially when you look at the numbers. And the defensive rating is the best of any lineup that they've used with the over 15 minutes defensively in terms of defensive rating. So I just think it makes a whole lot of sense to just continue to throw Keon out there. And I hate to say it, but if it's at the expense of Davion Mitchell at this point in time, I kind of don't mind it, because I think if you can unlock something with Keon, I just think it could be a little bit more beneficial in the long run. You can run him at point guard. I think you can maybe also steal some minutes with him on a wing guy, like kind of, right now we've seen them throw Kessler Edwards in those kind of situations. I wonder if, like a Donovan Mitchell or, a Bradley Beal, or maybe even a Devin Booker, if they were to look at Keon instead of going for Kessler Edwards there, because I just think Keon defensively is at a different level than everybody else.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point. Now, specifically tonight, I think that Davion does have a spot for sure, because I think, Donovan Mitchell isn't as big as Shea or whoever it is like that. So, got to get to a break, but real quick before we end the segment, coming in at the buzzer, the 707, my dog, in all caps, is Sasha Vezenkov to finally have a coming out game. Now that 707 is what we like to hear. Might be the text of the day, because we love when you think outside the box. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we take a trip around the NFL, and at 1:45, of course, we will have crosstalk with the Drive Guys, and they will yell at me because I didn't talk about the Drive Guys on Friday.
Do they have a show today?
When
they
we
even have a
did
program
talk
today?
about them.
Do we know?
So look out for that at 1:45. That'll be fun. 1:30, taking a trip around the NFL. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
As we come together to celebrate the end of this long, long year, Stockton Honda has savings to bring us all cheer. Happy Honda Day savings and selection galore. Stockton Honda's online express purchase and great people give you more.
Save on 400 new Hondas at Stockton Honda during Happy Honda Days. Shop in person or online with our express purchase option.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install the new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. At Sac Sewer, it's our first priority. Whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night at 916-875-6730. Sac Sewer. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
Guys, your testosterone level can impact your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Book your testosterone level check at Revive Men's Health, Sacramento. They're the local experts with guaranteed treatment for low T and ED. There are no lab fees, and all your tests are included when you start treatment. And many patients find Revive more affordable than their insurance deductibles and copays. Book your testosterone level check today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Been a fun one.
Yeah. Been a quick one.
Been a quick one. Yeah, did not feel like a Monday. And as we said, last Monday we did a segment, Case of the Mondays. Yeah. This Monday, no point. No point in doing it because nobody has a Case of the Mondays. If you are a Kings fan, you got a W. If you are a Niners fan, you got a W. And if you are a Raiders fan, you got a W as well. And Chris called that game boring. I thought that was wildly exciting.
Raiders game yesterday, that was wildly exciting.
Yes.
That Aiden O'Connell
Zach
Wilson matchup that does it for you.
The Aiden O'Connell masterclass.
With one total touchdown.
It's really scary how much Aiden O'Connell reminds me of Derek Carr. And I know I'm not the first person to say that, but it's the number 4. It's like even the play style a little bit is like, it's sometimes he makes some throws that I'm like, that was kind of lofted in there. And I'm like, maybe it's just PTSD from watching him.
He's the actor that they would cast in a movie about Devontae Adams' life.
What do you mean?
He plays Derek Carr in a movie about Devontae Adams.
No. Well, I will say this, and we did a whole thing about 40-yard dashes. But I will say this. In terms of old school quarterbacks and being mobile, Aiden O'Connell is not mobile at all. No. And we talked about there are not many quarterbacks out there that just can't move at all.
Yeah. He's one of them.
Derek Carr is faster than Aiden O'Connell now.
Yeah.
That's not a good look for me.
Yeah.
Personally, what I would do if I were the Raiders, And I'm just going to go here.
Let me tell you, as someone who went from pretty much statued quarterback to incredibly mobile quarterback,
Dude, Dobbs.
It's like, again, I use this all the time, but it's
Cam
like
Newton?
the world is your oyster, man.
Yeah.
It's just there's so many different possibilities that are opened up that I never knew that the world could be like this. I didn't know these colors existed before. I just thought everything had to be black, white, and gray. Who knew? You could throw yellows and oranges and greens and all sorts of fun purple colors out there.
I just saw him take off, and I was thinking, wow, okay.
Okay. Some mixture of Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, Michael Vick.
Yeah.
And just a wince of Tom Brady in there from.
There you go. I mean, Josh Dobbs right now, he's playing out of his mind.
He's ridiculous.
Good for him. Eric S., as we talked about, Shea Gildress, I said I saw him at the taco bar that the team had on Friday, and he didn't look 6'6". Well, he didn't, okay? And like I said, maybe it's tough because everybody looks the same for me, but he did not look 6'6" to me. But no, Eric S., I'm not trying to make him a Zont. That would be nice, but I'm not trying to make him a Zont. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, he's not even an NBA Zont. He's a Zont. He's definitely not a Zont. I just didn't see 6'6". That's all.
That's fair.
That's
SGA,
all.
fair. Short king.
He's got crazy wingspans.
Here we go again. Speaking of, as we talk Raiders and what they're going to do next. Look, I know there have been some conversations about Kyler and his lack of
stature.
No. That's not what I was going to say.
We were talking about Zonts.
Responsibility.
Okay, well, can I finish?
No. We're just going to keep guessing. Sorry.
Ability to see over an offensive
The video
line.
games. If I'm the Raiders,
new Call of Duty's coming out soon.
It is.
I saw
But if the Cardinals are stuck, right? If I'm the Raiders, I think about bringing in Kyler.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, especially if they're going to continue to win games. Like what? They're 5-5 right now. They're not going to be in the Drake May and maybe doesn't seem like Caleb Williams situation
It's
either.
Too late.
I
It's too late.
can't believe how far Caleb's sliding nowadays. It makes a lot of sense. It does. Is it the smartest move? Probably not. A guy who's coming off ACL surgery, who's 5'9", and
it's a ridiculous contract.
It's a ridiculous contract, and you're going to throw him in Vegas, where there's not many distractions or anything like that, and that organization is so tippy top.
But the video game championships are all in Vegas anyway.
That's true.
So he doesn't have to travel.
That's true.
He's already
That's
out there.
Great point. That is a fantastic point that I don't think enough people are talking about.
Jimmy G's going to end up being their starter next year.
No, there's no way. There's literally no way.
It's an inevitability.
No, there's actually no way. He already got somebody fired.
Yes, Kyle. We will make a wager here on the show.
I just said, like, the Niners traded 3 first-round picks for a quarterback, and then Jimmy G was their starter 2 years later. Like, once you invite him in, he's never allowed to leave.
What is he, Dracula?
Yeah, pretty much.
He's
like the Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but he'll never leave.
No, I'm telling you right now.
Jimmy is not. You're describing him like a parasite.
Right. Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. We are not doing the Jimmy G thing.
It's an inevitability.
He needs a host body. Apparently, it's the Raiders right now.
Just bouncing. It's ridiculous.
Sucking the soul out of franchises.
You're trying. Yeah, get Kyler. At least pretend like you're trying to win.
The Cowboys.
It's a very Raider move.
That was it.
It's a very
Think
Raider.
about it. Yeah. Look, the way Antonio Pierce has got everybody buttoned up, I think that's someone that could say, hey, Kyler, this is what we're going to do. You get Devontae Adams.
It's better than nothing.
You have
for sure.
Josh Jacobs. Well, actually, they'd have to re-sign Josh Jacobs. Just think about it. So the Cowboys, again, very similar to the Niners, front-running Fredericks or whatever you want to call them, 640 yards on the JV team, Tommy DeVito. Do the Giants beat the Georgia Bulldogs right now?
Oh, no. We're doing that?
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
Probably not, honestly. Not with Tommy DeVito.
Okay, let me put it to you like this. Do the Bulldogs cover? Let's say Vegas would probably make it
like 10 or something. I don't know.
Vegas would probably make it like 30. It's an NFL team.
No, I wouldn't go that
Georgia?
far.
Talking about Georgia?
Vegas would make it about 20. 25 points. I'll put you like this. The Cowboys were favored by 16.5 over another NFL team, the Giants.
The best thing I can say is Brock Bowers would have like 170 receiving yards against the Giants defense.
Can we mention the fact that the Cowboys have now beaten the Giants by a combined score of 89-17 in 2 games? 89-17.
Stephen A. Smith hopped on,
and they're in their
social
division.
Media. He said please, NFL, stop showing us the Giants.
Stop.
It's not good for your brand. It's not.
They even tried to pretend like Tommy DeVito was this feel-good story. They were like, the local kid from New Jersey is going to come in and revive his NFL career. And then he just got smoked out the paint.
Was not good.
There was a garbage time thing, but at one point, Tommy DeVito would have had to play 47 quarters to match Dak Prescott's passing numbers.
Jeez. Well, you talk about the different games and how there's parity right now in the NFL, somewhat due to the injuries, which you're always going to deal with in the NFL. This is from Field Yates. 5 NFL teams converted a game-winning field goal with no time remaining. That's the most game-winning scores with no time left in regulation in a single week in NFL history. So between last week and all of the backups and this week with just great games and C.J. Stroud and all of that, is the NFL in a really good place right now or in a really bad place? I'm confused at where the NFL is.
I think it's not in a good place. If I'm not mistaken, scoring is still at pretty historic lows. It feels like quarterback-wise, we went from having everybody kind of had a guy that they were hitching their wagons to now it feels like half the NFL is starting rookies or guys who have just never played before. So if I had to put some label on it, I would probably say the NFL's not in the best spot it's been in the past. Though it is nice to kind of have a little bit of parity where it feels like there isn't really, the Chiefs don't feel like they're head and shoulders better than everybody. And, the Eagles don't necessarily feel, the NFC is definitely still for grabs. So in that sense, it's nice. But at the same time, I would say we all know that narrative wise, a dominant team just, that's always going to be best for the NFL is when there's a big bad out there that everybody's trying to conquer. And it just doesn't feel like that team exists right now.
I think it's still the Chiefs just because whenever the Chiefs have a primetime game, they always show up.
Right.
But
they have weaknesses that I think
plenty of weaknesses.
I don't think people have ever thought of them as being this beatable. Like with their lack of receivers, it just really feels like you can't, it's not going to take a miracle for you to beat the Chiefs. Before it kind of felt like you really were going to have to get them on an off night. And it feels to me like I just wouldn't be afraid of their pass offense.
Got to get to a break. When we get back, crosstalk. Is Whitey going to yell at me? Probably. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
If you want the perfect holiday shopping shortcut, I've got 3 words. Get to Kohl's. I just went and found great gifts for even greater deals, like toys for up to 25% off. And with my 20% coupon, I got fleece for my family under $20 and a cookware set for under $75. Plus, I got $10 off home finds as a Kohl's Rewards member and earned Kohl's Cash. So if you want the season's best for less, you know where to go. Select styles. Toys, coupons do not apply. Kohl's Rewards offer and 20% offer end November 18th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports. If you've ever seen a video of Beyonce or one of these really good performers, when something changes or gets messed up a little bit or whatever, you never can tell. They just keep the party rocking and you can't tell. And in this technical day and age, things happen. So it will be Stiles and Watkins here to close you out for the last 15. No crosstalk today because the guys, that is the Drive guys, by the way, Whitey and Drapes, they are in the building. Mm-hmm. They are in the building doing their thing. If you see them, say hello. And I'll say hello to them, even though they're both mad at me for not promoting their show on Friday, which is why I wanted them on. They really
let you hear it.
They
were not shy
about it. They're probably going to let me hear it at the beginning of their show, but hopefully we get crosstalk with them in the building tomorrow, and we can chat about that and all that jazz. So I ask you, we already done dogs of the game. Yeah. You know, there's also bold predictions. There is a form of that. But what is your biggest key to the game for the Kings?
I would say, how about this? How about just, keeping Sabonis out of foul trouble with Allen and Mobley both back there. I mean, clearly the Kings are going to have to, and no Trey Lyles either, which you could argue this would be a perfect game to maybe throw out Trey Lyles at the center and run that small ball big where you are pulling guys like Jared Allen or Evan Mobley out from the paint. But Sabonis has to be involved 35 minutes tonight, if I had to guess, just to deal with those two and make their lives as difficult as possible. And key number 2 would kind of piggyback off that and say, don't be afraid to attack the rim. Just because those guys are there,
try to get them in foul trouble.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't mean that you should just completely avoid them and concede defeat in that area. You know, you should take it at them and make them make plays. You know, Jared Allen's still coming back from injury. He came back, I think him and Garland both came back a couple weeks ago, but Jared Allen block-wise, if you look at his numbers, he's under a block per game. Like, he hasn't been able to really find the form that he had last season, the guy he's been throughout his career so far. So just because those Twin Towers are there, don't be afraid to attack, man, because, with the way that they attack the rim on Friday and as well on Wednesday against Portland, I think that they could still manage to finish pretty well, and especially if De'Aaron's there as well, I would love to see the Kings just attack that rim and try and set up open perimeter shots. I already know that the perimeter is probably going to be the thing that determines tonight's outcome, whether or not the Kings actually hit their shots or not. But you can't just be reliant on that 3-point shot, because we saw how that went in Houston. And frankly, it was the worst basketball I think I've seen this Kings team play in a really long time. So still got to get to the rim. Can't be afraid of those two big guys.
You have to put pressure on them. You can't let them just hang out. And also offensively, we know Mobley wants to be a part of the conversation.
Yep.
So you got to make him work defensively. I think that's a big piece of this. 916-339-1140. Get your calls and your texts in before the show ends. From the 714, Sabonis exposing Chet was the most dog in all caps move ever, all while throwing up an easy triple-double.
Super easy.
Super easy.
Yeah, it was a great performance. You could maybe argue that's like what we should expect from an average Domas night. Again, like it feels like he can stumble into 17, 10, and 8 just about every single night. And you throw on the fact I was hoping it would be an impact in last Friday's game, but I do think that Gonzaga thing really did play a piece in Sabonis's edge. Like he was not afraid. Like he was actively taking it to Chet, and it wouldn't surprise me if Sabonis sent in that Kodak picture to the Gonzaga people and said, hey,
put it in the loop.
Yeah, if y'all are looking for some locker room art or something like that, here's two Gonzaga guys going at it. I might have been on the good end of it. So I definitely think that played a part in it. And Sabonis, frankly, I mean, whatever it takes, big guys don't really have too many nights off, and tonight isn't one of those nights. So he's got to do the same exact thing and kind of deal with it double. You got Evan Mobley and you have Jared Allen. You're going to have to figure out a way to make at least one of those guys' days a lot more difficult than what it needs to be, because if Cleveland can get both of those guys going, it's going to be a long night. And frankly, I mean, just because the Kings have played well or played better, I should say, these last two games, the ship is not righted. They haven't completely figured this thing out. There's still possibility that tonight could be a letdown game. So they also have to keep that in mind and not feel like, okay, we're back and the shots will just fall and everything's gonna fall into place. They still need to attack these games the same way they've been attacking these past two games, because I mean, no win is guaranteed, and Cleveland's definitely not going to roll over just because they're kind of sputtering out the gate as well.
Right. Cleveland still sees it as an opportunity. They're trying to hang on and see if De'Aaron Fox is going to play or not. Like you said, there are challenges if De'Aaron Fox doesn't play, and there are challenges if De'Aaron Fox does play. So really, we have to wait and try and figure out whether that's going to happen or not. But we're excited to see how that is all going to progress. For me, I would say from a guard position, choose one. Choose one guy that you are not going allowed to go off. Yeah. I think that as much as you can see, 15 for Darius Garland and not a 50 burger, but 40 for Donovan Mitchell, that's no bueno. Mm-hmm. But I think it's more bueno than Donovan Mitchell 35, and you have Darius Garland 27 or something like that, and they're in a groove the whole time. They're passing the rock. I would say, and whether that's Davion or whoever, somebody just eliminate one of the guards and just do the best you can on the other guard. But say, hey, we're not letting, if Donovan wants to shoot 50 times, Darius Garland is not going to eclipse 15
for
points.
Sure. What's the number you want to see between the two? If you had to just throw a number that feels like if the Kings can hold Garland and Mitchell below 50 points or 55 points between the two, that feels like
realistically. Yeah. I would say if you
is a team that just allowed Shea over 30 and Jeremy Grant over 30 as well. So.
Right, but the other guys didn't really go off that.
Exactly.
So I would say, I mean, Shea got to 33, right? So I would say if Donovan is sitting at about 27.
Okay.
And Darius gets to more than 20, obviously.
Okay. So we'll say 50.
I would say about 50, 53 points, under 55 points. I think you walk away with the W.
I think that sounds about right, because again, sometimes these things are just as simple as math. And it's like, if Garland and Mitchell aren't going to get up to 55 or 50,
right?
Well, then you need a big performance out of Karis LeVert, and you probably need a really big scoring night out of Evan Mobley or Max Strus or something like that. And that's definitely another thing that the Kings are going to have to, while yes, they will have to, try and limit Donovan Mitchell from going off. You know, you gotta try and plug as many holes as possible, and you can't let Max Strus slip around and give you 20 on accident because he, gets hot, and you're really trying to focus on slowing down Garland. And so, that affects how you guard the perimeter. They have to make sure that they can't have that Skylar Mays 18 and 10 performance out of some random tonight.
What did we say? We were talking a couple days ago, converted from the two-way contract. The Sacramento Kings generating generational wealth. Happy for Skylar Mays. And
existence since 2007. Sacramento Kings giving generational wealth out to your favorite random NBA players.
What I like about this matchup, and hopefully De'Aaron does play, but what I like about this matchup is it's not the Spider-Man meme, but there are a couple spots where it is, right? You have Strus and Herter, two shooters. Hey, who's going to be hotter? You have Malik and Karis LeVert, battle of the six man. And for me, I have my futures pick on Malik Monk, so I hope Malik goes off. And then if you do get De'Aaron Fox playing, De'Aaron Fox versus Davion Mitchell.
Donovan
Mitchell.
The last day you're going to have to deal with it.
Jeez.
It's the worst. It's the worst. It's the actual worst.
It's a lot.
Imagine what happened last year when Kessler Edwards got traded. And
Walker
Kessler.
I called him Walker Kessler so much.
It's just a nightmare.
So Mitchell on Mitchell, right? So there you go. So I think that all of those different matchups will be very entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't get De'Aaron, right, then I'm looking for Keon Ellis to continue to get a little bit more confident with his shot. I think slowly but surely he's doing a lot of those pump fakes, and I get it. Early in the shot clock, no.
Yeah.
But once you get a little bit later, if the ball has come back around to you, you might want to just take that shot.
Absolutely, yeah. I frankly think he's done a good job of not forcing it. I think we talked about it when he first got entered into the starting lineup, but it feels like a natural human thing to go out there and say, all right, I'm in the starting lineup. Let me do as much as I possibly can to show that this is the right decision. Let me hoist up that shot because I'm open, all that stuff. I think Keon actually has done a really good job of trying to keep himself measured. And I think in that game on Friday, he was 1 of 7, I think, from 3 or 0 of 6 or something like that. All those shots, like you perfectly put there, it's when the ball comes back to you where it's like, look, you can't turn down that shot. And that's when I don't care what he can go 0 of 6 again. I'm just okay with him taking that shot because that's going to be the thing that keeps him out there is when he can hit those shots when the ball gets back to him. And then, of course, defense is going to be the main thing that keeps him on the floor anyway.
Will the Kings get another underdog beam? We think so here at Sactown Sports. Of course, you can hear the game just like all other games because we are the flagship for Kyle Ledbetter, Chris Watkins, and Alan Stiles. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Next up, The Drive Guys with Whitey and Draper. Thank you, Sactown Sports.
Nobody get me twisted. We need De'Aaron Fox. We need NEED.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.